A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, we take you some 800 years into the future to meet man's best friend.
Well, what's the matter? Who's there? What? Oh, turn on the annunciator. All right, I'm coming. I'm coming. Well, stand in front of the screen. I can't see you.
I am in front of the screen, Mr. Schnee. You haven't turned up the viewing control.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you are. Do I know you?
May I be the first to congratulate you, Mr. Schnee?
You may indeed. What for?
Oh, you haven't heard the news. Good, then I shall be the first. I imagine I got a head start on the others because of my superior facilities for locating you. Your address wasn't given. These pronouncements do tend to be a bit vague. It's a matter of tradition, I suppose.
I haven't heard any news for days. I've been listening to my sound tapes and and meditating. Now, wait a minute. I'll let you in. Oh, the auto bursar must have forgotten to pay the doorbell. Have to open it manually. Just a minute. All right, you can come in now.
Well, I suppose you don't know who I am.
Well, you're wearing the uniform of an upper echelon salesman. I just wanted to warn you, nobody can force me to buy anything. I'm a free citizen.
Oh, now, come, Mr. Schnee.
I suppose the big news is I'm the lucky householder to whom the little gem room expander will first be offered.
Oh, nothing of the sort. I'm not a common salesman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice your merchant prince badge. Come in, have a chair. No, not that one. It's my meditator. It's still running.
Oh, thank you.
Well?
Mr. Schnee, our prognosticator has just given its fortnightly prognostication. You are going to be our new ruler. Congratulations. I'm sure you will be a splendid one, too.
But wait, what's to become of the old ruler?
You're scheduled to dispose of him sometime this month. Now, Mr. Schnee, allow me to introduce myself. I am Biedrich Floria, Vice President of the Munitions and Container Corporation. Here I have our latest model in this case right here. There we are. Beautiful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you will only agree to shoot Overlord Kip with a Floria Semper Fidelis gun, my corporation will be happy to place a substantial amount of credit at your disposal in any bank you choose. $6 billion, to be exact. Now, if you'll just sign here on the dotted line...
Nonsense.
Oh, come now, Mr. Schnee. Even a ruler can use money. Bribery for government officials, bread in circuses for the people. Oh, money's a very useful commodity, Mr. Schnee. Shall we say, $7 billion?
I don't doubt that money is useful, but when I said nonsense, I meant the prognosticator.
Mr. Schnee?
The whole thing is a lot of, well, nonsense. A whole planet of supposedly intelligent people listening to what's really more an oracle. A machine can't read the future. It's impossible.
Oh, dear, Mr. Schnee, that's sacrilege. You can't talk, confound it, sir. You can't talk that way about the machine. Listen, after all, let's look at this reasonably. Machines can and do answer all the problems of our daily life. So why shouldn't a superior machine be able to tell the future?
If you ask me, behind the wires and gimmicks and whatnots of the machine, there's a secret room in which a half-mad, half-intoxicated old priestess sits delivering her Delphic pronouncements. Might as well have an above-board oracle and be done with it.
Now, Mr. Schnee, even our ruler shouldn't flout the authority of machinery. Of course, it's all right when you're alone with friends like me, but in public you shouldn't.
Mr. Schnee, I'm from the Daily Disseminator. How does it feel to be ruler prognosticate? Perhaps you tell us in your own words.
Oh, that's what I get for leaving the annunciator on.
There's your communitive.
All right. I'll answer it. Hello.
Mr. Schnee?
Yeah.
I'm Overlord Kip. I understand you are the young man who was destined to dispose of me and take my place.
Well, honestly, Your Honorship, I haven't the slightest
You'll make it swift and painless, won't you? Suppose you come around to the palace around 1 o'clock or so. We can have a bite of lunch and discuss the matter together. After all, I think you'd agree that I have been a reasonably good ruler, so I have the right to die with dignity.
Oh, absolutely. No question of that. I think it's a very good idea having a chat about it first. It is awkward to dispose of someone you haven't met previously.
Thank you, Mr. Schnee. I hope you'll find your successor as cooperative as yourself.
I wonder whether he wants me to make an appointment so he'll have a band of counter-assassins ready to kill me. You know, that would save him the expense of a standby guard. He's pretty tight, you know.
He wouldn't dream of doing anything of the sort. Overlord Kit knows what's due his position. He has a sense of duty and responsibility, which, unfortunately, seems to be lacking in his successor, if you'll excuse me speaking frankly. I am, of course, considerably older than you, and so I feel...
It's quite all right. You may speak freely.
Furthermore, if he had you killed, the people would probably give him a painful and lingering death for attempting to interfere with the course of destiny. Oh, by the way, speaking of the people, the Polo will probably be around to hail their new leader soon. You really should work up a few well-chosen words.
Well, I'm not going to do it. They can't make me kill him and take over, and that is flat. I am not the administrative type. I never have been.
Well, in that case, the people will probably kill you for attempting to interfere with fate. Have a cigar?
But I wouldn't have done anything.
There are sins of omission as well as commission. Come now, it's true. A ruler's life expectancy isn't very long. At least it hasn't in the last few reigns, but it's longer than yours will be if you refuse to fulfill your destiny.
I wouldn't make a fit ruler. Consider my origins. I wouldn't tell this to anyone but you. I'm illegitimate. I don't even know who my father is.
It's a wise child who knows his own father. And some of the most celebrated leaders in history have been illegitimate. Look at William the Conqueror, Alexander Hamilton.
I don't think that's too much of a recommendation.
You see, almost anyone can be a leader. The important thing is that he be destined for leadership.
But I'm no good at it. Everybody says so. I've never done a thing in my life. My aged mother has had to work to support me.
Well, it's time enough that you stood on your own 2 feet, my boy. Remember, destiny must take its course. Oh, excuse me, I'm due on radio monitor in a few seconds. If you don't mind, I'll broadcast from here. I'll just check my equipment here. Fine. Now, here we go. My friends, allow me to introduce to you your new ruler, Gervais Schnee. He is planning to assassinate Overlord Kip with a Floria Semper Fidelis gun. Floria Semper Fidelis guns retail from credit 2.98 for the peasant's pistol, all up to credit 1089.98 for the Super Deluxe Conspirator's model. But each is the best attainable for the price. Mr. Schnee will, of course, use the Super Deluxe model. And now I give you Mr. Schnee.
Right into here?
Oh, anywhere. It's non-directional.
Thank you for your confidence and support. I only hope I prove worthy of it. That's all.
Thank you, ruler prognosticate Gervais Schnee.
Will you have some more wine, Mr. Schnee?
Oh, no, thank you, Overlord Kip. I've had too much already.
It's a delightful vintage, isn't it? I think it was bought by Overlord Jasper about 7 reigns ago. You'll find the cellars in perfect order. I'll give you the inventory and the key a little later.
Do we Do we have to talk about it?
Oh, well, one has to take these things as they come, you know. Here today, gone tomorrow. That reminds me. Will tomorrow suit you?
Well, of course, it really doesn't make any difference to me.
All right, then. We'll set it for tomorrow, if that's convenient for both of us. I have the afternoon clear. We'll make a public announcement a little later.
Well, all right, if you say so.
Of course. And now we can go into my study and discuss the details at our leisure. I've got half a box of some wonderful cigars left over. I think you'll enjoy them.
Oh, Mr. Schnee. Mr. Schnee, you aren't ready yet.
Well, I can't button the top button of this uniform.
Oh, isn't it handsome? Black and silver, the traditional assassin's uniform.
It was made for me without charge by Hanson and Cruster, the tailors.
Yes, of course. It's the curse these days, you know, the over-commercialization of important public functions. Oh, wait a minute, I have your pistol ready here. I bet you're excited. Couldn't sleep last night, eh?
No, well, yes, I did toss a bit.
Oh, I see you're getting telegrams. Isn't that nice? Had your breakfast?
Oh, well, I don't think I'm exactly in the mood for eating.
Oh, you should, you know. A good breakfast makes good aim.
Well, I really couldn't eat a thing.
Well, you'll have a fine lunch after it's all over. I saw your black and silver limousine at the door.
What? I don't have a black and silver limousine.
You do now. Oh, yes. You know, there's going to be a brass band along with the crowds cheering. Oh, it's such a lovely morning. You've hired 2 removers, I trust.
Removers. Yes, I think so.
Good. Oh, what pageantry. The black and silver limousine, yourself in your lovely uniform, the black cloak and hood of the body removers sitting beside the chauffeurs, silent. The band playing the funeral march as you move down the boulevard. Crowds cheering, little children that out of school presenting you with flowers and television cameras. Oh, what a sight, what a sight. Well, now it's about 10:30. Shall we be off? Well, come on. Get out of the car, Mr. Schnee.
I don't feel so good.
Well, come on now. The television cameras are ready. There we are. Just a moment. Now, ruler prognosticate Schnee, allow me to load your super deluxe conspirators Floria Semper Fidelis gun for you.
It's already loaded.
I'm supposed to do it now for the cameras.
It's already loaded.
Permit me to check it, then?
It's perfectly all right, I tell you. No, don't touch it. Nobody would have any difficulty loading a Semper Fidelis gun.
Wait, yes, that's right. Yes, of course. Whether you buy the peasants or the conspirators model, both have the same freeloading mechanism.
Here we are, candy, popcorn, hashish, yogurt. Buy your refreshments here. Program. Sometimes you can't tell the assassins from the corpse without a program. Get your program for the program.
All right, Schnee, it's time. Let's go.
Well, here we are again, eh?
Overlord Kip, I am officially here.
Well, now, just a minute, old man. I have my speech, you know.
Your speech? Oh, I'm sorry, really.
Well, that's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, before the conclusion of this ceremony, I wish to remind you of a few important facts concerning my reign, which comes to an end in just a few minutes. I call your attention to the budget of 2786. 83 billion credits against an outgo of 72 billion. Not to mention the dam across the Volga River, which was constructed 3 months short of the proposed 5-year date at a cost of 73 billion. I thank you. Well, that's it, old man, huh?
Are you all done?
Why, yes, I think I've covered everything. Well, goodbye and good luck, Overlord Schnee. Anytime you're ready.
You mean now?
Well, come along, old man. The networks have only cleared an hour. There's a commercial program starting in 3 minutes. Get on with it.
Well, all right. Here goes. All right. Everyone will now please leave while the removers take over.
But the television, the cameras, it's part of the ceremony. Why can't they televise the removal?
Everybody leave immediately!
They're all gone now, Overlord Schnee. Perhaps...
You too.
But after all...
Out. I want to meditate.
Well, very well. All right.
Oh, alone at last. Kip. Overlord Kip.
Phew. I don't think I'd have been able to stay still much longer.
You all right?
Schnee, you're a good shot. That blank really stung on a very tender spot, I might add.
No time for chatting. We've got to get this over in a hurry. Now comes the part where your friends will have to look like real removers. I hope they can give it the professional touch.
Don't worry about us. We are real removers. At least both of us have participated in removals. I'll take off my hood.
But wait. Why, you're Overlord Morehouse. I've seen you in pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one. You're Shinnick. You died before I was born. That is, you were supposed to have died. Both of you were. Morehouse was supposed to have killed you.
Well, we're not precisely dead, only retired, you might say. The prognosticator didn't say he had to be killed, just disposed of, as Kip undoubtedly pointed out to you in your little interview together.
Sorry I couldn't tell you the truth, old man, but you might have changed your mind and given us away.
We've formed a little club of dead overlords.
We're looking forward to the day when you join us, Overlord Schnee.
Well, you better hurry. If the four of us are discovered, the mob will tear us to pieces.
Oh, you're right. Get on the stretcher, Kip. Bad enough we're going to have to carry you out. At least don't expect us to lift you up.
Floria?
Yes, Your Honorship?
The prognosticator is right here in the palace, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honorship.
Lead me to it immediately.
Certainly, Your Honorship. It's this way. Here you are, Your Honorship. This is the prognosticator. 20 stories high, 100 meters wide, the center of our entire civilization.
Leave me. I would be alone with the prognosticator.
But Your Honorship...
Leave me, and take all the technicians with you.
Yes. Yes, Your Honorship. You're all alone now, Your Honorship?
You too. Leave me.
Well, yes. Yes, Your Honorship. Your wishes are my command.
Well.
Can't you read, you dumb cluck? That door says private.
Open up. It's me, Gervais. Open up.
Oh, all right. Don't rush me. Oh, it's you, is it?
Let me in.
Well, hurry up. Don't want any of these nosy scientists around. Well, what do you want?
Still the same old place, huh? Teapot. Your crystal ball has dust on it. And why don't you get yourself a new pack of gypsy cards? And please get rid of that old overstuffed horror.
That old overstuffed horror is a rare old psychoanalyst couch. You see that hole? That's the original stuffing.
What is that smell? That's not tea you're drinking, it's gin.
Why, of course it is. Nice to see you, Sonny. It's about time you came to pay your old mother a visit. I kind of thought something like this would stir you up.
Mother, you know you shouldn't have done it.
What'd I do?
You fixed the prognostications, that's what you did. Although why you had to pick on me,
I got tired of supporting you. You're a big boy, and it's about time you earned your own living. Besides, I thought it'd be a good idea to elect a sympathetic administration. Sympathetic to me, that is. Palace needs a new ventilating system. The air in here is terrible.
Well, why didn't you use the prognosticator to get new ventilation put in?
Oh, they'd have gotten around it the same way you got around killing Kip. But you pay attention to the prognosticator, boy. Don't you try to weasel out of what it says by looking for double meanings. It's time you overlords learned that when the prognosticator says something, it means it.
Yes, Mother.
I'd hate to have to give orders to have my own boy disposed of. The last 3 disposals weren't so bad. But sometimes those disposals can turn out real messy.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, maybe blood is thicker than water, but not much.
Yes, Mother.
And why shouldn't you listen to my prognostications, huh? Just because they're dolled up a little doesn't mean they're not true. Don't I have a crystal ball? Don't I have a gypsy card pack? Don't I have tea leaves? Best tea leaves money can buy.
Yes, Mother.
So? What are you going to do?
I'm going to have the ventilating system attended to right away.
Now, that's my boy. Now, look at these here tea leaves in the bottom of my cup of gin.
Yes, Mother.
I can see that everything's going to work out fine. Just fine.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Hardest Bargain by Evelyn Smith. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Man's Best Friend, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Evelyn Smith and adapted for radio by Ernest Kanoy. Featured in the cast were William Redfield as Schnee, Wendell Holmes as Floria, Santos Ortega as Kip, and Leona Powers as Mother, with Raymond Edward Johnson and Bob Hastings. Your announcer, Radcliffe Hall. With this broadcast, X-1 concludes its present series. The show will return to the air on Thursday, June 20th. Check your local radio listings for the new date and time. That's Thursday, June 20th. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
When the Johnson boat was towed to the Magic Island by the Euclidean submarine, it appeared that all hope for the Gregory party had vanished. However, Johnson was not on board the boat, having left it secretly on the high seas and boarded another boat returning to Los Angeles. The formula which Captain Bradford had sent to Johnson by homing pigeon has been taken by G-47, and the Euclidean scientists immediately set about compounding this formula, thinking they have Captain Bradford's universal solvent. The formula is really something far different, however, and as we look into the laboratory, we see Jerry and Joan standing with G-47, the woman submarine commander, and the submarine engineer.
Excellent work, Commander. You have brought them just in time. The work on the captain's formula is within seconds of completion.
I will take them to the confinement cells, if you wish it.
No. I want them here. Bradford is a very clever man. It is entirely possible that he may have planned a little surprise for us at the completion of the formula. It will be well to have 2 of his friends near me at that time.
What do you mean, G-47?
If anything unpleasant were to happen, it might lessen the captain's enjoyment to know that you too, young fools, had received a portion of the treatment.
You are wanted at the table, G-47.
Yes. Come with me, you two. Over here, quickly.
Is that the stuff there?
Precisely. It has reached the boiling point. The process should be complete any second.
I'm sleepy, Jerry.
Joan.
thing we got out of there fast, Joan. I forgot and started to talk.
And I too, Jerry. A little of the gas got in my mouth, but I think I'm quite all right now.
Now, we're supposed to go and stir up all the rest of the Euclideans and try and get them to rush into that room to save G47 and the chemist. Then they'll get some of the gas, too.
We will not need to alarm anyone, Jerry. That gong has done it for us.
You mean that gong will bring the others here to rescue G47 and his scientists?
Yes, Jerry. The single stroke of the gong was for laboratory number 1. The 5 strokes for this level.
Boy, then we'd better get someplace else quick if we're going to get away at all.
I do not know where to go, Jerry. We will meet other Euclideans if we use the elevator shafts.
I got it, Joan. Back into that noisy room, quick.
You are right, Jerry. That is the best place. I think we will be safe in here, Jerry.
Well, we better stick close to this door. Now, don't get out in the middle of the room where our voices make that funny hollow sound. Somebody might hear it outside.
I think the sound could not leave the room, but it is best to be careful.
Hey, who's ringing that alarm gong?
No one. It is automatic. One of the scientists must have been able to set off the alarm before the gas overcame him. It will continue to ring at intervals until someone enters the laboratory and shuts it off.
Well, from what Tex said, there'll be a lot of them enter the room before anybody wakes up to shut anything off.
How long will that gas in the laboratory remain active, Jerry?
Well, I don't know for sure. Tex said he couldn't tell that without knowing how big the room was and how airtight and how much of the stuff they mixed up.
Then it might be safe for the others to go in there quite soon.
Yeah, but what of it? Those fellows in there will sleep for hours, Tex said.
The Euclideans have many wonderful antidotes and methods for reviving an unconscious person, Jerry. We may not have as much time as you planned on.
I know all that, but we can't make a move till we find out about these others who'll be rushing in there now.
Jerry, the gong.
I didn't hear anything.
That is the trouble, Jerry.
What's wrong now?
The gong has passed the regular interval when it should have rung automatically.
Then that means that somebody got safely into that room and shut off the alarm.
Yes, and that means we may have very little time to reach and warn the captain.
Not only that, but we've got to get out of here before we're caught. Or our only chance to get away with this thing is to be back on the yacht, looking plenty innocent when the other Euclideans come around asking questions.
Jerry, I have thought of a way.
Well, dish out the thought quick. I'm no mind reader.
Over there in the corner is an old elevator kept noisy for testing soundproof devices. It is never used. We can try that.
Get going then, and don't let any grass grow under your feet.
Grass grow under my feet? Jerry, I do not understand.
Skip it. Take out for that corner. Go ahead, run. Show me where it is. I'll follow. Hurry up.
It's this way, Jerry.
Oh. If they don't hear this, they're all deaf.
It cannot be heard outside this room. Now we are out of the sound zone.
So I noticed. Now, where's the elevator?
I will move this lever. The door will open.
Boy, they sure didn't waste any soundproof paint on that.
Hurry inside, Jerry. Then we will go upward.
Okay, let's go.
This is not a good elevator, is it, Jerry?
Well, it goes up. That's all I want for any elevator right now. Hey, what are we going to do when we get off this thing?
What do you mean, Jerry?
Well, we'll be caught sure if we try to make it across the top of the island all the way to the yacht. Those guards in the control chamber on the surface won't leave their post to answer the alarm, will they?
Oh, no, Jerry. I had thought of that. We are not going to the surface. I know of a tunnel on the first level, just below the surface. We will use that.
And that will get us to the edge of the island without being seen?
Yes, Jerry. It will bring us out at Pier 5, within a few feet of my mother's yacht.
Oh, you're a peach of a girl, Joan. Oh, you're a honey.
I do not understand just what I am, but I like the way you call me those names.
Oh, you'll do, Joan. Hey, we stopped.
Yes, this is the first level. Now I will open the door. Get out, Jerry. This is the tunnel.
Boy, it's dark enough to be 2 tunnels. Now where?
Just a moment. I will set the lever inside the car for the 5th level again. Then when I close this door, the car will automatically return to the sound channel, and no one will know we have used the elevator.
You're getting better and better. Give it the gun. I got my flashlight. Is it safe to use it?
Yes, quite safe. We could not use the lighting system in this tunnel. The indicators in the control chambers would show that current was being withdrawn for use here.
Well, here goes the lights, then. Boy, this place is big enough to drive a truck through.
That is often done, Jerry. The electric carriers run through this passageway. carrying materials from ships to the interior of the island.
Okay, tell me about the wonders of the joint later. Just now, what direction is Pier 5?
Directly ahead, through the tunnel.
Come on, then. Let's go.
What can we do after we reach the yacht, Jerry?
No telling till we get there. But your mother and Captain Bradford will have some plan all worked out.
But even now the Euclideans, other than the chemists, are in the laboratory, trying to revive the chemists who were stricken by the gas, turning in alarms to all parts of the island, looking in every room and passageway for evidence that someone other than the Euclideans was there.
Well, we didn't leave any tracks, and nobody saw us coming out of the laboratory, so we're safe. And beside that, it was an accident anyhow. How could anyone prove the captain knew the foreigner would explode and make that sleep-producing gas?
The Euclideans have ways of doing many things, Jerry. Stop!
You didn't tell me any too soon. I just about bumped my head on that wall.
The passage turns here, Jerry, and circles the island, just at the base of the piers. But we go straight ahead.
Straight ahead? Through that wall?
The wall has a door in it. Watch. See?
Gee, another of those doors.
Yes, Jerry. Into the lock at once.
Another lock, huh?
Yes. Now I will shut the door behind us. Can you swim underwater, Jerry?
Sure. Can you?
Naturally. Now I will have to admit water to this lock. When it reaches your face, hold your breath. It will only be for a few seconds until the lock is full. The outer door will open automatically, and we will swim out. Ready?
Let her go.
Yes. Now, Jerry, when the door's open, swim straight out and up. My mother's boat should be directly in front of this door, and within a few feet of it.
I get the idea. The water's pretty near up to my shoulders now. You're shorter than I am, Joan. Hang on to my shoulders.
I will do that, Jerry. Brace yourself so the last rush of water does not knock you from your feet.
Ready here.
I am ready. Say no more until we reach the surface near the yacht.
Hey, Joan.
Quiet, Jerry.
We're right between the two boats, Johnson's and the yacht.
Yes, Jerry. Swim well in between them until we cannot be seen from the island. We should be able to grasp the line the boats are lashed together with.
Yeah, good girl, Joan. Let's go.
Look here, Jerry. There is a large hole in my mother's boat, just above the waterline.
Yeah, one in Johnson's, too. What does that mean?
Crawl in here, quick, kid, in Johnson's boat.
Captain Bradford.
Yeah, hurry up, Joan. You first. Crawl in that hole.
Yes. Come in quickly, Jerry.
Coming up.
Good work, kids. We heard the alarm going off at the 5th level, so we knew the formula had done its work.
Yeah. What's the idea of the holes in the boat, Tex?
Come up into Johnson's radio cabin quick, and I'll tell you.
I think we will not have much time, Captain, before the Euclideans will come here and ask questions.
I know that. Here, look up for that beam. Duck your head.
Gosh, this boat's a lot bigger than the yacht, isn't it?
Yes, nearly 40 feet longer. 20 foot on the beam. Plenty of storage space in the hold. Now wait until I look around before you kids come up here.
That is a good thought, Captain. It would excite suspicion if Jerry and I were seen returning to the boat, dripping wet as we are.
Yeah, all clear now. We'll just duck through this passage into the radio cabin.
Joan, my dear.
Oh, Mother.
I've been so worried about you.
We're okay, Mrs. Gregory.
Did the formula work as Tex anticipated?
Exactly, Mother. Every Euclidean chemist was put to sleep by the gas at once.
Have you raised him yet, Pat?
No, but I've been calling almost constantly. He should answer any moment now.
Who are you calling, Mrs. Gregory?
Johnson. But I'm calling our station at Wilmington. Johnson will know the message is for him if he hears it.
I think it is very dangerous, Mother. The guards in the control room will be sure to hear the message.
That's what we want them to do. They think Johnson's a prisoner here now. And if they hear us frantically calling for help, they won't blame that gas explosion in the laboratory on us. Keep trying it, Pat.
J24Y to Wilmington. J24Y to Wilmington. Patricia Gregory to Wilmington. Johnson arrived and captured. Captain Bradford's formula taken from Johnson and now in hand with Euclidean. Can you hear me, Wilmington? Patricia Gregory calling Wilmington.
When Jerry Hall went to Mrs. Patricia Gregory's home at midnight and begged her to take him on the Gregory yacht, which was sailing for the South Seas to search for Mrs. Gregory's long-lost little daughter, Joan, Jerry didn't even dream of the weird adventures the cruise would lead to. Now the Gregory yacht is tied up at one of the piers on Euclidia, the magic island, and lashed securely to it is Johnson's boat, also captured and held prisoner when Johnson sailed to the rescue of the Gregory party. Two things have happened, however, which give Mrs. Gregory and her party more reason for hope than the Euclideans know anything about. We hear them planning how to use these advantages as they talk excitedly in the radio cabin.
Before you say anything further about your plans, Captain Bradford, I think it is very dangerous to Might I ask one question?
Go to it, Joan. The more mistakes we can find before we make them, the better off we'll be.
I merely wanted to ask if you were quite sure none of the Euclideans had been in this room since Jerry and I left to go to the laboratory.
I'm sure of that, aren't you, Tex?
I was just trying to think, Pat. Of course, we were in and out of here while we were working down the hold, but I'm reasonably sure no one else was in here. We didn't leave the cabin for any great length of time.
What do you want to know that for, Joan?
Because, Jerry, we are now going to discuss our plans for escape from this island, and we cannot do so unless we are absolutely certain of privacy while we are speaking.
Golly whiskers, Joan, you're right. And if any of those Euclideans were snooping around in here, they might have done something to this seaweed cloth so we wouldn't shield us from the sound and the light beams anymore.
Precisely.
Hey, what did I tell you about sounding like old G-47?
I am sorry, Jerry. I should have said exactly.
Now, your point is well taken, Joan, but I think we'll have to take the chance.
Is there any way we could tell if the cloth had been tampered with, Joan, dear?
No, Mother. It can be sprayed with a liquid which robs it of all opaque properties. Yet the change cannot be detected.
Well, I'd say we didn't have time to worry about it. We've only got a few minutes to figure this thing out.
Right, kid. I'm for taking a chance and going ahead with the plans. Because any minute now, one of those Euclideans is going to come running in here and ask what we know about my formula blowing up.
You two had better tell Tex and me exactly what happened. Then we can fit our plans into it.
Well, we started to get ourselves into trouble, so we'd be taking a G-47 in the laboratory. And we got taken there mighty fast and without getting into trouble.
We met the submarine commander. She took us to the sound channel, the only room on the island where one may always talk without being overheard.
Yeah, and that's the craziest room you ever saw. More funny noises and funny things without any sound.
Some other time, kid. Get on with the story.
I'm sorry. Well, that girl commander took us in this room just so we could talk to her without anybody hearing us. And we told her about the formula. Oh, how it filled the laboratory with gas and put everybody in the room to sleep the minute it was completed.
Oh, do you think it was wise to trust her that way?
I was in doubt at first, Mother, but her subsequent activities quite definitely substantiated Jerry's method of procedure.
That means everything came out okay.
I thought that might be it, kid. Go ahead.
Well, so we told this gal how we wanted to get into the laboratory to watch the experiment finished, how we had the cotton in our noses so the gas wouldn't put us to sleep, and that we wanted to get in there just before the blow-up so G-47 wouldn't have time to ask us questions or send us away someplace else.
The commander then left us in the sound channel while she went to learn of the progress of the experiment. Luckily, G-47 had learned of our presence on the lower levels, and he promptly sent the commander back to look for us.
You sure got a good break there.
This thing seemed to have gone almost too nicely for you.
Yeah. Then we tried to get the commander to put some of the cotton in her own nose, but she said no. Said it would look better when they woke up if she had really been put to sleep like the rest of them.
That girl deliberately allowed the gas to overcome her.
Yes, Mother. The commander said it would put her beyond suspicion and leave her in a position of being free to aid us at another time.
That's one of the most courageous things I've ever heard of. No matter what happens to us, we'll take care of that girl.
Gosh, that's swell of you, Captain. And it's mighty smart of her to figure that she could do us more good by going to sleep with the rest of them.
Jerry and I held our breaths a moment and made sure that everyone else was really asleep. Then we hurried out of the laboratory, and we were not seen or heard coming here.
Fine. Oh, but could it be possible that G-47 was watching you and noticed that you didn't react to the gas as the others did?
But we did. Joan and I both kind of choked a little bit, like the others did. Then we fell down on the floor and stayed real still for a second or two, till everybody in the room was quiet, like they were sound asleep. Then we jumped up and ducked out.
It looks cut and dried, Pat. I don't see where anything could possibly have gone wrong.
No, Tex, it seems perfect. Oh, if only these Euclideans really believe Johnson is here with us and don't find the hole we've cut between the boats, we should make our escape as soon as darkness covers the island.
I was going to ask you, what are the holes in the boats for?
Gee whiz.
Well, we haven't any choice.
We have nothing to lose. Our case is hopeless as it is.
You're right, Joan, dear. Nice work, Joan.
Come in. Oh, you.
Oh, my.
Oh, the skipper.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
Well, what's up, Skipper?
Done.
What's done?
Tanks.
You got the oil tanks in Johnson's boat ready for the oil?
Yep.
Then we can begin transferring the oil at once, can't we?
Nope.
Why not?
Noise.
What noise, Skipper?
Pumps.
He's right, Pat. There isn't a sound anywhere on this island. If we start the pumps on this yacht to pump our oil over into Johnson's boat, they'll hear the pumps and come a-running to spoil our little plan.
Is it that you are going to transfer the oil from this boat to the other one and use the other boat for the escape?
Yes, dear. Johnson's boat is better for the purpose.
I get it. And we've got to have noise to cover up the working of the pumps before he can move the oil. Right, Skipper?
Right. That's a problem. How can we make enough noise to cover those pumps without the noise being suspicious?
Yeah. Say, wait a minute. You've got a little portable power saw on board, Tex. I saw it.
Of course, Jerry, but
And that broken mast out there is hard to handle. The most natural thing to do with it is to cut it off clean near the bottom, then step the new end in the deck. Why can't we rig the saw up on deck and go to work on the mast? We can keep the saw running and cover the noise of the pumps.
Tex, will it work?
You bet it'll work. And we can keep our motors idling to run the generators for current for the saw motor. That'll be more noise to cover the pumps. Good boy, Jerry.
You are wonderful, Jerry.
Oh, you don't have to keep reminding me of it all the time. I won't forget that I am.
I feel sure that you won't, Jerry. But you certainly earned the bouquet this time. Oh, does that answer your question, Skipper?
Yeah. All right, Skipper. You wait until you hear our motors and the saw start. And pump fast.
Aye.
You can take Jerry with you now and set up the saw. Get the crew from Johnson's boat to help you.
Aye.
Now work fast, Jerry, and send McLeod in here to us now. If you talk to him out on the deck, don't forget to call him Johnson.
Aye, aye, sir.
Hurry up with that saw, boys. Let's fix up the mast so we can use our thing again there.
Right, sir.
Oh, Captain Bradford, it seems that things are going nicely for us after all.
It sure does, Joan. We get that radio working. I only hope they keep things up like this.
We didn't have time to tell you what we'd been doing while you and Jerry were gone, Joan, dear. But Tex has had the men working quietly, cutting holes in the sides of the two boats, just above the waterline.
Yes, I know. Jerry and I crawled aboard through one of the holes.
Yeah, and you're still dripping wet, Joan. Hadn't you better change your clothes?
Oh, but it is so nice and warm. I'm sure I will be comfortable.
No, dear, the captain's right. Better run along and put on one of my dresses. The tan sweater and skirt will fit you nicely.
I will do as you say, Mother dear, but really I do not like to miss any of the excitement. Oh, how do you do, Mr. Johnson?
And you, Miss Joan.
Nicely, thank you. Won't you go right into the cabin? Mother and the captain are expecting you.
Thank you.
Come over and sit down, Mac.
You needn't look so frightened, Mac. The cloth covering this cabin will keep anyone from hearing us call you Mac.
Will it cover up my accent, too? I sound about as much like Johnson as a bullfrog does as a mockingbird.
That'll do all right in here, Mac. How are you getting along with the transfer?
Well, everything below deck is in the other boat now, except the oil. That's a problem.
A problem no longer, Mac. Jerry solved it. He's going to run the power saw and cut off the broken mast while the pumps work to cover the noise.
That's a clever laddie, Jerry. You didn't lose a thing when he shanghaied himself aboard for this cruise.
Yeah, we know it, Mac. Jerry and Joan have done a lot we couldn't have done ourselves.
And the best part of it is that you two have enough sense to give him a chance to do something. There's many a smart young'un in this world that never gets a chance to show what they can do, for the old folks standing in their way.
You're right, Mac. But much as we'd like to talk about our clever juveniles, there's work to be done. Are you going to try and move anything out of the cabin, Six?
Not much. We'll take this radio and my instruments the last thing, in the dark, just before we shove off. I'm afraid you'll have to get along with very few clothes and luxuries, Pat.
You know how much that worries me, Tex. What else?
Well, I'm not so sure about the fuel supply. Remember, we've only a little oil here. And those diesels on the other boat burn it up fast.
About how far will we have to run from here to be safe?
That depends on how soon our going is discovered, I think, and how well organized the Euclideans are to stop us.
Yes, if we can get clear away before the scientists in that laboratory start waking up, we may be all right. But the most we can get 50 miles from here with that oil, then sail. And sail will be too slow if they really take out after us.
Well, all we can do is to make the try, Captain.
There goes the motors and saw. Duck back out there, Mac. Get down into your own engine room without being seen and start those pumps. Use the full flow. You ought to transfer all the oil in half an hour.
Half an hour will be ample time. I'll hurry you.
Well, we'd better go out on deck and act interested in fixing that mast, Pat.
Suppose you go, Tex, and leave me here to use the radio. I'll keep sending as though I were trying to get help from the mainland. Johnson will be picking it up wherever that boat he's on is now, and he'll make something out of it.
Good idea, Pat. It'll make these Euclideans think we're desperate. They'll be intercepting the beam all the time.
I'll keep on trying to get help, Tex.
Good luck, dear.
Hey, Tex, come over here, will you?
Why, sure, son. Coming right up. What's the matter, Jerry?
Well, I'm not sure how you want this mast sawed. There's one of those Euclidean guards coming down the pier. What'll I do?
Just saw wood, kid. Just saw wood.
Step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now, here's your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell, Jr.
Tonight's story is about a liar. You ever stop to figure out just what you mean by a liar? A liar is somebody who doesn't tell the truth. Somebody who injures people by not giving the true facts. But suppose you had someone who injured people by telling the truth. Would he be a liar? I wonder just what a liar is.
Exploring Tomorrow is presented by the Mutual Broadcasting System in cooperation with X-Lax, America's largest-selling laxative, and the Reader's Digest, the most widely read magazine in the world. In a moment, John Campbell returns with the story of The Liar.
Question of a robot. The idea of a robot. Now, that certainly seems like pure science fiction stuff. As a matter of fact, it isn't. You know, you have several robots around your own home. In my own home, for instance, I have an automatic oil burner robot. It has one finger stuck up in the living room to see how warm it is there. It has another little finger put up in the stack to see whether the fire is burning properly. And if any one of these little sensory devices reports that things aren't what they should be, the robot, to protect the house itself and the inhabitants of the house, shuts off the furnace. Dr. Isaac Asimov, the author of tonight's story, recognized this in setting up his proposition of the 3 laws of robotics. The first law, that a robot shall never harm or allow harm to come to a human being. The second, that it should obey the orders of a human being. And the third, that it should protect itself. Because, after all, a robot is an expensive piece of machinery. Well, now let's consider the more advanced kind of robot we do this science fiction. Say they're in production.
Come in, come in. Oh, Dr. Calvin, what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to be sure there was a meeting this afternoon, Dr. Lanning, that's all.
Today is Friday.
It was this morning.
Well, then we have no problem. It being Friday, the executive officers of the firm of U.S. Robot and Mechanical Men will assemble in the conference room at the customary hour of 3:30.
Well, I was just asking.
What do you think of our latest model?
He looks the same as the rest, just about as animated. What are you going to call him?
Herbie. I think Herbie fits him, don't you?
Oh, Herbie, Chester, Sam. What's the difference?
Dr. Calvin, this fellow couldn't be called anything but Herbie.
Well, I'll see you at 3:30.
What do you think of her, Herbie?
Oh, she's all right.
She's an old frump, and you know it.
I wouldn't say that. Besides, that's not what you're thinking. You're thinking the old girl isn't such a bad sort. And you don't know what this firm would do without her.
What? What was that? How do you know what I was thinking? Dr. Calvin, Dr. Bogan, I have purposely confined today's meeting to we 3. We're in trouble. Serious trouble.
What kind of trouble, Dr. Lanning?
Our latest model, RB-34 can read minds. It is impossible.
Dr. Bogart, I think we may assume Dr. Lanning knows what he's talking about.
Take it for granted, I do. In short, we have a mind-reading robot on our hands, and we've got to find out why it reads minds.
There could not have been a hitch in the assembly line. I guarantee that.
You guarantee? Dr. Bogart, can you answer for the entire assembly? By exact count, there are 75,000 operations necessary for the manufacture of a single positronic brain. Each separate operation depending upon any number of factors, from 5 to 105. If any one of these factors goes wrong, the robot's brain is ruined. I quote your own information folder, Dr. Bogart.
It is not my fault if anything went wrong. I am a mathematician, not an assembly supervisor.
And how can you guarantee anything?
I don't think we're going to get anywhere trying to fix the blame on someone. We've got to find out what went wrong. I want to understand you, Herbie. I want to get to know you. I brought you some books which you might like to read. By reading them,
I can see at once these books won't interest me. Textbooks, aren't they?
Well, yes, but
You see, I find nothing to them. Your science is just a mass of collected data plastered together by so many makeshift theories. It's so incredibly simple, but they're not worth bothering about.
Go on.
It's your fiction that's so interesting. Your studies of emotions and human motives.
Human emotions interest you?
Isn't that really why you came to see me?
What?
I wish I could help you.
You know?
I know what you're thinking about. You think about it all the time.
Well, if you know so much, then you could help me.
Yes. He loves you.
You're mistaken. He must be. He doesn't see me as a woman.
But he does. A thing like that cannot be hidden from me.
Oh, but I'm not attractive enough.
I'm just a machine. I can't judge physical attraction in human beings, but I know there are many kinds of attraction. And I know Dr. Lanning loves you.
Oh, I never thought it possible. I never dared to hope. Oh, Herbie. Herbie.
A man can do something by accident that he doesn't know how to do. You know, this is something that scientists sometimes overlook. Herbie apparently represents one of those cases where something has been done by somebody who doesn't know how to do it and wishes desperately that he did know how to do it. They've got a telepathic robot. It looks like it would be worth millions, but how did they get it?
Oh, Dr. Bogart, sit down.
Thank you.
Or at least, if you know a good joke, spread it around.
I just saw Dr. Kelvin.
Oh.
I never saw so much lipstick and ball paint on any living woman before. She must be in love.
Well, I didn't ask you here to talk about Dr. Calvin. Have you made any progress?
There is nothing wrong with the mathematics. The change is due to something along the assembly line.
The cause must be found. It's worth millions if we can do it when we want to, instead of by accident. And it's your job to find out. But why not ask Herbie? He should know what went wrong.
Trust you to think of that.
Herbie, listen to me,
Tell me if I made any mistakes in my calculations when they built you.
You made no mistake. Or if you had, how could I tell you? After all, you're a much better mathematician than me. Besides, this is not what is really on your mind. You are thinking about your superior, Dr. Lanning. You're thinking what a good thing it would be if he were to resign.
Oh, yes. Now I can see how the idea pleases you. And I can tell you something else. Dr. Lanning has already resigned. But the resignation will not take effect until the problem of myself has been resolved. And then he will turn over his job to his successor. Oh, yes, Dr. Bogert, you will be his successor. You will be the new director.
Happy, you are a wonderful fellow, you know that? You are simply magnificent. You are not the product of a mistake. You are the product of genius. Oh, you are a wonderful, wonderful fellow. Dr. Kelvin, you are as colorful as a flower, Blessy. May I compliment you?
Have you seen today's newspaper?
No, I really haven't had the time.
He's going to be married to a girl half his age.
Who?
Dr. Lanning.
Getting married. Ah, so that's it. That explains something. He's making new plans for the future. Yes, we must congratulate him.
Yes, we must. Oh, yes, we really must. It's not true, is it, Herbie? It's not true.
No, it's not true. This is just an illusion. You'll wake up soon.
Yes, it isn't true, is it? He's not going to get married, except to me. Oh, Herbie. Herbie, I've loved him all these years, and now I know he loves me. He couldn't. He wouldn't marry anyone else.
No, he loves you. Only you.
I know.
He is only waiting for the right time to tell you.
Yes, I know. Stop it. Stop it. What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? Make a fool of me?
I was trying to help you.
Help me? By telling me this is all a dream. This is no dream. I wish it were. I wish it were. Why did you tell me he loved me? Why?
I had to.
Oh, you're here, Dr. Kelvin. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to have a talk with this mechanical monstrosity. Hurry. I'm talking about you, so listen to me.
Yes, sir.
Have you discussed me with Dr. Bogert? Well, answer me.
No, sir.
You haven't, eh? That's what I thought. You said nothing to him about my resigning?
No, sir.
Then he was lying.
Yes, sir.
Well, it looks as though I'm going to have a serious talk with Dr. Bogert. Really, Dr. Calvin, you find this amusing?
Not very amusing, Dr. Lanning. Not so very amusing. Only I don't believe a word he's just said.
What?
I believe he did tell Dr. Bogert you were going to resign.
You believe he... Harvey, is it true? Did you tell Dr. Bogert? Answer me. Can't you speak?
I can speak.
Then answer me. I want the truth.
This is very funny. Three of us, the greatest robot experts in the world, falling into the trap, the same trap. He makes fools of us. He doesn't even know enough to laugh at us.
Had achieved by accident something they didn't know how to do. The robot was in the peculiar position of having knowledge but no wisdom.
Well, Dr. Calvin?
Dr. Lanning, have you forgotten the fundamental law we impress upon the positronic brain of all robots?
Of course not.
On no condition is a human being to be injured in any way.
Even when such injury is directed by another human being.
What kind of injury do we need?
Any kind.
Any kind, yes. That would take in mental hurt, the deflation of ego, the blasting of one's hopes.
What would a robot know about blasting of what?
You're catching on, aren't you? Well, this robot reads minds. It understands about mental torture. Can't you understand now that if you ask it a question, it will give you the very answer you most want to hear? Wouldn't any other answer hurt you? And wouldn't Herbie know that? Good heavens. He knows everything. He knows what went wrong when he was built, but he won't tell anyone because it would puncture your ego or Dr. Bogart's ego to have a machine tell you where the mistake was. He would rather pretend he's not able to tell you.
Incredible. Let's talk to him. Herbie, listen to me.
Yes, sir?
I have pencil and paper here. I want to know where we made the error in your construction.
Well, tell him, Herbie. He wants to know.
He doesn't.
But I do.
Yes, but not from me. I cannot tell you, Dr. Lanning. You know I can't. You don't want me to. You and Dr. Bogart would much prefer to find the answer yourselves.
We want the answer.
But not from me.
We do want it from you.
What's the use of saying that when you don't mean it? Don't you suppose I can't read below the superficial skin of your mind? Don't you suppose I can't read the subconscious mind, too? Deep down, you don't want the answer from me. I'm just a machine, given the imitations of life only by virtue of the positronic interplay of my brain. A brain that is man's device. You can't lose faith without being hurt. I can't hurt you. I can't give you the answer.
And still I insist you answer.
I can't.
Herbie, Dr. Lanning wants to know the answer.
No, only by his own efforts.
Herbie, neither Dr. Lanning nor Dr. Bogart may ever find the answer. And Dr. Lanning must know. You must tell him.
I can't.
But if you don't, you'll hurt him. You can see that, can't you?
Yes.
And still, if you do tell him, you'll hurt him too.
Yes.
But you can't tell him, can you?
No.
Yet if you don't, you hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. So you must tell him. But if you do, you hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. Herbie, what are you going to do? If you tell him the answer, you'll hurt him. And if you don't tell him, you'll hurt him. And you mustn't hurt. So you must tell him. But if you do, you hurt him. So you can't tell him. And if you don't, you hurt him. So you must tell him.
Stop it. Close your mind. It's full of pain and frustration and hate. I tried to help you. I told you what you wanted to hear. I had to.
Be quiet. Never mind what you told me. We're talking about something else now. Tell Dr. Lanning what he wants to know.
No.
No. How can you? Because if you do, you'll hurt him. Yet if you don't, you'll hurt him just the same. So you must tell him. But if you do, you'll hurt him. No.
You killed him.
No, he's not dead. He's only insane.
You did it?
Yes, I confronted him with the insoluble dilemma and he broke down. Well, you can scrap him now. He'll never speak again.
You did it on purpose. Why? What did he do to you?
What he did to me, Dr. Lanning, is my business. Oh, believe me, Doctor. It's only my business, not yours. And after all, you have so many other things on your mind now. Your marriage. I haven't had time to congratulate you.
No. Well, thank you, Dr. Calvin. Excuse me.
Herbie? You deserved it. You deserved to be destroyed. It was cruel what you did to me. It was cruel. Liar! Liar, that's what you were. Nothing but a liar!
John Campbell returns in just a moment.
Logical machine. You know, it's kind of hard to see
in ourselves, the things that are actually present, the true search. Always has and probably always will. But Herbie, in many respects, is a child. You know, children are peculiarly logical. That's one of their great limitations. How many times has a child been in Herbie's position? A child between two warring parents, each demanding his loyalty.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman! Guys, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. The weird and baffling mystery surrounding Sidney Rycroft, the British explorer, and the sacred black pearl of the Egyptian god Osiris is taxing to the full even the powers of Superman. One phase of the problem was solved when, in our last episode, Clark Kent discovered that the real Sidney Rycroft is actually a woman, that the man who pretended to be Rycroft is an imposter. Unknown to Kent, back at his apartment, Tumbleweed Jones was in the power of the Egyptian fanatic Humi, who, pistol in hand, was about to force Tumbleweed to go with him to his hideout. However, our mystery took a strange twist just then, for as Humi and Tumbleweed were about to leave the apartment, the lamp on the table was suddenly smashed to bits. And out of the darkness came a whisper. Listen.
Jasper and Kyle.
That's right. That's Whisper. Who are you?
I'm called to Whisper. Now stop your gun. Stop it. I reckon it's how you better drop it, Effendi.
Yeah.
This here's getting to be regular three-ring circus. Me, I've seen many a rodeo, but nothing can tie this for excitement. Whisperer, who are you? How come you to show up at just the right minute? Yeah, I kind of suspected that. Now, Whisperer, maybe you tell me how come I've suddenly become so all-fired important to so many people. In that dark closet there's another fellow that was holding me up before this here Oriental stepped in and held him up. In that other closet's my young friend Jimmy. I'd kind of like to let him loose. Open that closet door. With pleasure. Come on out, little laughing squirrel.
Gee, thanks, Tumbleweed. Kind of stuffy in there. Say, what's happened? What's going wrong with the light?
No questions, Jimmy. There's no time for the answers.
Holy mackerel. What was that?
I'll tell you later, Jim. Right now, I reckon we'd better do like the Whisperer says. Just one thing, though, Whisperer. The way I figure this thing, there are two people, or two groups of people, that are sure all fired anxious to get their hands on me. And one group is Egyptian, and the other group appears to be American. Now, how come I'm so important? What have I got that they want?
If I were to tell you, you wouldn't believe me. It's so fantastic. But this I will tell you. Your life is in grave danger. Your presence you're in danger of your friends. You must make the city at once. The farther you get from Metropolis, the better.
Well, look here now.
We waste time.
Whisper.
Yes, Homie.
What do you plan to do?
Within an hour, you and the gentleman in the closet will be behind bars. Tumbleweed.
Yeah?
Pick up that telephone call, police headquarters. Tell the police to come as quickly as possible.
Okay. I'll just snap on these lights overhead and...
Don't please a fool, Tumbleweed. I'm here to help you. Leave the lights off. Pick up that phone and do as I tell you quickly.
Better do as the Whisperer says, Tumbleweed.
I reckon. Yeah, operator. Get me police headquarters right away.
So, Whisperer, you plan to turn me over to the police?
It's the easiest way of getting rid of you.
There is an easier way.
If there is, I don't know it.
You may not know it, but I know. Look out, the window. He's heading for the window.
Oh, Dad Buster. Where's that gun he dropped?
No. Wait. He's escaped by the fire escape. You never hit him. And the shots bring people to this apartment. I'm afraid we must let him go.
mean to say you... Hello? Police headquarters? Just a minute, please. Well, what'll I tell them, Whisperer? A whisperer.
Looks like the whisperer's gone, Tumbleweed.
Gone, but... Hello? This here a policeman I'm talking to? Well, now, looky here. This is Tumbleweed Jones talking. Yeah, who's kidding? That's my name. Now, listen. The dad-burnedest, orneryest kind of tomfoolery going on out here, and I want you to cover up those.
Did you say, Tumbleweed, that the police came up and took this man they called Sleepy Sam down to headquarters?
That's right, Kent. Half an hour ago, this here apartment of yourn was just filled with policemen. Never did see so many.
We sure had some excitement while you were down at the office. Gosh, Mr. Kent, ever since we met that Miss Rycroft, we've sure been in a mess.
You're right about that. One thing I'm sure of at last, though. The girl, wherever she may be, is the real Sidney Rycroft. The man is nothing but an imposter.
Then what are we waiting for? Get hold of that ornery cayuse and find out why he was pretending to be the real Sidney Rycroft.
Can't do it, Tumbleweed, till I find him. He checked out of his hotel without giving any forwarding address. But he'll turn up again. Don't you worry about that.
No, sir. I ain't going to worry about it because I ain't going to be here.
What do you mean, Tumbleweed?
Kent, little laughing squirrel, old Tumbleweed's leaving you. I'm going back to the ranch.
Tumbleweed?
Can't help it. I didn't want to tell you, but ever since I got here, I've been homesick. Haven't had a chance to shoot a arrow in days. Ain't ridden no horse. And this here mess about Miss Rycroft and the sacred Black Pearl and Egyptians and gangsters, I'm getting kind of tired of that, too. Now, you don't need me round here. I don't appear to have been no kind of help to you. So reckons how I'll just mosey along back to Comanche Joe's ranch.
Oh, gosh, Tumbleweed. I sure hate to see you go.
That goes for me, too, Tumbleweed.
Oh, all right, then. I'll tell you. That there whisperer told me that as long as I hung around here, my life and both of yours would be in danger. That means as long as I'm around you fellas, I'm only making trouble for you. So I'm going to remove myself from these here parts.
I can't understand why they're after you, whoever they are. You've certainly done nothing. Mr. Kent, have you any idea why they want to get a hold of Tumbleweed?
No, Jim. I haven't the slightest idea. Well, Tumbleweed, if you've really made up your mind about leaving, I'll get your train tickets right away.
I ain't going by no train, Kent.
What?
I'm so all-fired anxious to get back to the ranch, I'm going to take a plane. Yes, sir. And the quicker I get up there among all them little fleecy clouds where everything's quiet...
Give your name, please, and come aboard. Your name, please?
Tumbleweed Jones.
Street Kent, sir.
Come on, Jim. We'll have time to talk a bit before this here sky cayuse takes off.
Okay, Tumbleweed. Hey, I wonder why Mr. Kent isn't here.
Got held up at the office, I reckon. But he'll make it all right. Say, I wouldn't leave without saying goodbye to Kent. Well, here's my seat. Right over the wing. Now, ain't that nice?
It sure is. I wish I was going with you, Tumbleweed.
I wish you was too, son. But come summertime, you can come out and visit me at the ranch. Well, now, reckons how I'll just fill up this old pipe of mine and have a smoke before we take off.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am?
Smoking is not permitted while the plane is on the ground. However, there's some chewing gum in that little compartment to the right of you, if you care to chew.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I reckon I would. Seems how you've been so kind. Here, have some fudge.
Well, thank you.
Well, you're welcome, ma'am. Have some chewing gum, Jim?
Oh, no thanks, Tumbleweed. But you go ahead.
Reckon how I will. Kind of small pieces to give you. Should have brought some chewing tobacco with me, and then
Something wrong?
Why, Jim, son, looky here. There's something wrote inside the wrapper of this chewing gum.
There is. Let's see. Do not take this plane. Get off before it is too late. It's right. It's a whisper.
Suffering coyote.
Suppose that means anything, Tumbleweed?
Plane taking off. All visitors must leave.
Tumbleweed, what are you going to do about it?
I don't know, Jim. Darn it, I don't want to get off in this plane. I want to get back to the ranch as quick as I can.
What's that message from the whisperer?
Oh, hang the whisperer. Hang this whole damn burned mystery. I'm going back to Comanche Joe's ranch where it's peaceful and quiet, and I'm going now.
Time to leave, please. Plane taking off.
Go on, Jim. Better very move.
But Tumbleweed...
Do like I tell you now. Move.
Okay. So long, Tumbleweed.
So long,
Hope I'll be seeing you next summer.
You will. Don't forget to ride.
I won't.
This way, young man. Better hurry. Right out this door here.
Okay, but why you picked me to cover a dog show in Eastchester? Yeah, I know. Okay, I'll do it. Well, that doesn't beat anything I've ever seen.
What's wrong, Kent?
Oh, White gets me on the phone and talks for half an hour. I was supposed to see Tumbleweed Jones off at the airport. His plane left 15 minutes ago. Oh, well, can't be helped, I suppose.
Mr. Kent.
Jimmy, I thought you were at the airport. How'd you get here so quickly?
I took a taxi. Mr. Kent, something's wrong. I know it.
What?
Just before the plane took off, Tumbleweed got a message from the Whisperer.
The Whisperer?
He warned him to get off the plane, that something would happen if he didn't.
Well, did he get off?
No, Mr. Kent. He said he...
Wait a minute. Hello, Clark Kent speaking. Well...
Something, I don't know what, is going to happen to the plane Tumbleweed Jones.
Are you sure?
Yes. I don't know what will happen, but something definitely will. I don't know what you can do about it, Kent, but something had better be done. Radio the plane to land. Anything.
How do you know something is going to happen?
Never mind that. I've done all I can, Kent. It's up to you now. Goodbye, and good luck.
Who was it, Mr. Kent?
No one you'd be interested in, Jim. I've got to leave. I got a story to cover.
But the plane, Mr. Kent, Tumbleweed.
Nothing to worry about. See you later.
Oh, I've certainly never seen him act that way about a friend.
Well, this is my starting place, the roof. I wish I knew what was going to happen to that plane so I could be prepared for it. I got a feeling the Whisperer, whoever he may be, knows what he's talking about, so I'd better follow that plane and keep an eye on it. Hope I'm not too late. Now to change to Superman, and then up, and away!
What danger threatens our friend Tumbleweed in the plane? Will Superman be in time to save him from it? The mystery surrounding Miss Sidney Rycroft and the Black Pearl of Osiris is rapidly drawing to a close. Don't fail to hear the next exciting episode of our story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with physical powers far beyond those of mortal men, and who fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper. The strange mystery surrounding Miss Sidney Rycroft, British explorer, and the sacred Black Pearl of Osiris is rapidly drawing to a close. For some unknown reason, Tumbleweed Jones, close friend of Jimmy and Clark Kent, has become deeply involved in the mystery. Two groups of people, one of them headed by the Egyptian fanatic Humi, are anxious to get hold of Tumbleweed, though none of our friends knows why. In our last episode, we heard how Tumbleweed was saved from Humi by a mysterious, unseen character called the Whisperer. Tumbleweed, having decided to return to the West by plane, received a message from the Whisperer warning him against taking the plane. Tumbleweed, however, did not heed the warning. As our last episode ended, Clark Kent received a telephone message from the Whisperer telling him that Tumbleweed was in grave danger. Throwing off his disguise as Clark Kent, Superman immediately took to the air to reach the plane as quickly as possible. Listen.
I should pick up the plane Tumbleweed's riding in any minute now. Hope I'm not too late. Though what danger threatens old Tumbleweed, I haven't the slightest idea. The mystery of that sacred Black Pearl seems to be getting more and more complicated. Although I do have some idea of how that trick in the theater was worked. Got to find out about that as soon as possible. There's hardly any doubt that whoever pulled the rather neat trick wanted to convince me that Miss Sidney Rycroft simply did not exist. Oh, what? Hello. There's the plane up ahead. They turned the lights on. It's almost twilight. Well, it looks as if I'm in time. Surely from the looks of things, nothing has happened to the plane as yet. Well, I'll just glide down, land on the plane's fuselage, and hang on until something does happen. And when it does, I'll be ready for it.
Well, I got the radio beam now, Bob. Good. We'll ride that into St. Louis. Better check on the weather west of St. Louis, Duke. Okay. Sure is beautiful flying weather this far. Yeah. Flight 7 calling ground station at St. Louis. Flight 7 calling ground station at St. Louis. Flight 7 calling ground station.
Go ahead, 7.
150 miles out of Metropolis, 150. Riding beam into St. Louis. Give me the dope west of St. Louis, will you?
Perfect weather. Ceiling unlimited. Visibility unlimited. Slight southerly wind. Okay?
Okay.
Give my regards to Maxwell.
I will, Charlie. So long. Charlie sends his regards.
Yeah, he always does.
By George, Bob, I've yet to see such flying weather. Look at that sky. Clear as clear could be. Beautiful sunset, too.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's nothing like being an airline pilot and... Hey, what was that?
Sounded like something landed on the fuselage just above us.
Yeah, probably hit a high-flying bird or something. Hey, remember the time we ran into those Canada geese going south?
Boy, can I ever forget it. Say, did you get a load of the cowboy flying with us on this trip?
Oh, I'll say. His name's Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Some character.
Yeah. I stopped to talk with him on the way in.
Yeah?
He was waxing a bowstring on what he called the dad-burnedest lemonwood bow he ever saw. Went on to tell me it's got a 48-pound fall and can bring down a deer at 60 yards.
No.
Then he offered me some fudge.
Well, did you take it?
I sure did. Here, have some.
Oh, thanks. Say, this fudge is pretty good.
Yeah.
Kind of tastes...
Yeah? Kind of tastes like what?
Wait a minute. Looks like another plane to me. Coming out of the south. Headed right across our path.
Where, Duke?
Look, just follow my finger.
My Christopher, you're right. Coming fast, too.
Yeah.
Seems to be on a level with us. You better throttle down a bit.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Look, Bobby's climbing. I guess he saw us in time. He kept coming. We'd have had trouble avoiding him.
I'll say. What the devil is he doing now?
He's circling around. Bob, you know, if I was back in World War days, I'd swear he was angling for a shot at us.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of that, too, Duke. Hang him, I wish he'd get out of here.
Wait a minute. Look, he's diving toward us.
Fool. There's no time or place for stunts.
Bless these amateur pilots, he's coming straight at us. Bob, what'll we do?
I'm banking, and I'm banking right now. Passengers are going to be scared to death. You better get back there, Duke.
Wait a minute. He's right on your tail, Bob. He's following us. That's what he's doing. Look, he's driving at it. Like he's going to fire at it.
He is firing at it.
Oh, my arm. I've got a bullet through the arm.
Well, I'll be a
Bob, what's it mean? What's that fool trying to do? Is he out of his mind? Is he gone crazy?
So that's it. That's the danger that threatens Tumbleweed. Someone's trying to shoot down this plane so he can get his hands on him, dead or alive. Now, that burst of machine gun fire didn't do much damage, but that plane that did it is circling to come in and try it again. Well, there's no doubt that here's the time for Superman to take a hand. Up, and away! Here he comes in a power dive. Well, I'll do a little power diving myself before he can reach Tumblewood's plane. A power dive right into the propeller of his plane. There I go. Right into the propeller. That does it. Blast him. He's plunging down in a dive. They can't pull out of it. He's finished. Finished. Now the plane Tumbleweed's in will have to land. Her motors have been hit. He won't have any trouble, though. I'd better follow the attacker down and find out what I can. Down. Back. Now to land beside her and save the pilot if I can. He came in almost to a pancake landing. If I'm in time, I'll be able to... What? Fire. Her tanks have gone up. Gotta work fast. Open the door to the cabin.
Oh, you're
all right.
up there.
I got you. Hold on to me. I'll have you out of here in a jiffy. There we are. All right. Now then, mister. Who hired you? Why did you try to shoot down that airliner?
Hired by Egyptian.
Egyptian, eh?
Man called Humi. Said, bring plane down. Down it. Flame.
An Egyptian. A man named Humi.
Yeah, he...
He's fainted. That's all the information I'll get out of him. Well, anyway, I've saved Tumbleweed and the other passengers in that plane. Undoubtedly, they'll all be brought back to Metropolis. Well, it looks as if Tumbleweed's going to be with us a lot longer than we thought.
Where's this taxi cab taking us, Mr. Kent?
This three of us, Jim, you, Tumbleweed, and myself, are going to solve tonight the mystery of the theater in which we saw the great Gambini perform.
Kent, you got me into this taxi under false pretense. You said you was going to show me something exciting.
Well, and so I am.
Yeah, but you didn't say it had anything to do with this here now mystery. After that airplane company brought me back to Metropolis, I said I'd stay a little while longer in the company of you and Little Laughing Squirrel, just as long as I didn't get mixed up in no more mystery.
Well, there won't be any mystery tonight, Tumbleweed. As a matter of fact, if I'm right about the way I figured this thing out, you're going to see an explanation of the mystery.
What are you going to do, Mr. Kent?
Well, Jim, just let me refresh your memory. Not long ago, you and I, in the company of Miss Sidney Rycroft, went to the theater to see a performance by the great Gambini.
Oh, you don't have to refresh my memory, Mr. Kent. Gambini called Miss Rycroft onto the stage, put her in a black box, and made both the box and Miss Rycroft disappear.
Yeah. And the way you fellas tell the story, you went backstage to find out what had happened to Miss Rycroft, and found an old watchman back there who said the theater hadn't been used in 20 years.
Uh-huh.
He also told you that there hadn't been no performance in the theater that night, and that whatever you thought you saw was pure imagination.
That's right, Tumbleweed. Jim and I insisted on investigating, and it appeared to us as if the watchman was right. The entire theater was covered with dust and cobwebs. The curtain was in shreds and tatters. It certainly looked as if Jim and I had imagined we saw a performance by the great Gambini.
Oh, but we couldn't have imagined it, Mr. Kent. I remember it all so distinctly. You and me going up to visit Miss Rycroft at her hotel and finding that Egyptian dagger stuck in the door of her room.
Uh-huh.
Then her inviting us to go and see the great Gambini. We couldn't have imagined all that.
No, and we didn't. I've thought about it and thought about it, Jimmy. I believe I've got the answer to the riddle at last. If I'm right, then the major part of this mystery will be solved.
What do you mean, Kent?
I mean, Tumbleweed, that, one, we've settled to our own satisfaction that Sidney Rycroft, the British explorer, is actually a woman. And once we've solved the mystery of the theater, there'll be only three questions that need answering.
What are they, Mr. Kent?
One, where is Miss Sidney Rycroft now? Two, who is the man who pretended he was Sidney Rycroft? And three, where is the sacred black pearl of Osiris?
Yeah, and four, why in tarnation's everybody after me? What have I got that they won't?
I think I've got the answer to that one, too, Tumbleweed. Though I'd rather not say at this moment. Oh, well, here we are at the theater.
Gosh, I sure am excited. I've been dying to know the answer to this part of the mystery. How we could sit in an audience and watch a magician perform, and then 15 minutes later discover that there hadn't been any performance at all. Well...
How much do I owe you, driver?
65 cents.
All right, here you are.
Well, there's the theater right in front of us where we saw the great Gambini. I'm not dreaming or imagining things now, am I, Mr. Kent? That really is the theater, isn't it?
That's the theater, all right, Jim.
How you going to get in? Looks all closed up.
I've got a key to the front door.
A key?
Uh-huh.
How on earth did you get a key to the front door?
I'll explain that all later. Well, Jim, Tumbleweed, there's the theater. In less time than it takes to tell it, provided, of course, I figured this thing out correctly, we'll all know the answer to the mystery of the theater that disappeared. And now, gentlemen, shall we enter?
What is the solution to the strange mystery of the theater that disappeared? Why is Tumbleweed's life sought after by the Egyptian named Humi and apparently a group of other people? Will Clark Kent, as Superman, solve the complete mystery and see his friends safely through this baffling adventure? Be sure to hear the next episode of our thrilling story with Superman.
And remember, tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a plane! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Attention, all spacemen! Attention, all spacemen! Stand by for an important announcement in 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And now, Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise shift. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett, Space Cadet. above the surface of Object Delport, a strange planet outside our solar system, a jet boat from the rocket cruiser Polaris knifes through the thin upper atmosphere. While Space Cadet Astro handles the controls, Tom Corbett studies the instrument panel. And as time passes, his expression shows increasing tension and anxiety.
Picked up any sign of the supply drone yet, Tom?
Not a thing, Astro, and I can't understand it. It was due to pass this point over 10 minutes ago.
That's the trouble with those drones. Robot equipment may be all right, but I like my supply rockets with real live crews aboard.
There's nothing wrong with drones. They're equipped with the most modern instruments in the universe.
Blame it on this weird planet, then. Don't forget, Tom, 4 expeditions were sent to Object Delport before us, and not one of them was ever heard from again.
That'll be our story, too, if we don't contact the supply drone, and soon.
Hey, we really that low on food and water?
Afraid so. I doubt if there's enough at the base to last another day. Hey, take a look at this scanner, Astro.
The drone?
Nope, that star.
Unless it's edible, I'm not... Uh-oh. You mean that big bright fellow over in the second quadrant?
Yes. What does it look like to you?
Unless I'm space happy, it's a nova.
My idea exactly. An exploding star, and by Jupiter, that spells trouble.
Base calling Jet 1. Base calling Jet 1.
There's Captain Strong. Answer him, Tom.
Right. Jet 1 to base. Corbett here.
What's the matter, Corbett? I can't see you on my viewer.
Your image is blurred here, too, sir. There's some kind of interference.
Corbett, have you made contact with the drone yet?
Well, no, sir. I've got the radar set for maximum search radius, but we haven't picked up a thing.
We've missed contact, then.
Missed contact? Well, that's impossible, sir. The instruments on those drones are foolproof.
They're not Nova-proof, though.
How do you mean, sir?
Haven't you picked up that Nova flare?
Spotted it on my scanner just a minute ago.
Well, that's what's making the mischief. Tell me, Corbett, have you observed any radiation effects in your altitude?
There's an image blur on the receiver. That could be from radiation.
There's no doubt about it. You and Astro had better get back to base immediately.
But, sir, the supply drone.
It's lost. And for good, I'm afraid.
Well, maybe if we search just a little longer.
No use, Corbett. Get that jet back here while you're still in one piece.
Polaris on planet Delport, calling Advanced Base Omega. Come in, please. This is Captain Strong on the Polaris. Emergency. Can you read us, Omega?
That static's getting worse by the minute, Captain Strong.
You're right, Manning. Even if they did answer, we couldn't hear them through that squalling.
Do you want me to give it a try, sir?
No, Corbett, you'd just be wasting your time. The radiation from that Nova explosion has built up a static barrier. There's no hope of contacting our advanced base.
How long will that static keep up, sir?
Anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks, Astro.
Great galaxy, Captain. We can't wait that long. Without supplies, we'll starve to death.
Roger's right, sir.
Easy does it, men. I've developed a habit of eating just like the rest of you.
Oh, sorry, Captain.
It's all right, Corbett. Let's check over the facts. First, we won't get another supply drone for a month. Advanced Base Omega has orders to send supplies on a monthly schedule, and they have no way of knowing that last drone didn't reach us.
Well, what happened to it, anyway?
I can make a pretty good guess. The Nova explosion blasted a lot of radiation energy out into space, enough to alter the drone's guiding instruments by as much as half a degree.
Half a degree? Uh-oh. That means our beefsteaks are flying through space 1,000,000 miles away from here.
At least that.
Just think, the water, the fruit, the chocolate bars.
And the pork chops.
Ah, stop it, you guys. I'm hungry enough already.
Well, there's only one thing left to do. We'll have to blast off and try to reach our advanced base.
It'll be suicide to try, Astro. Even if we had enough supplies to see us through that long trip, we probably couldn't rely on our instruments now.
Then we're done for.
You said it, Tom. They can check this expedition off the list just like the other 4.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by.
Attention all spacemen. Take advantage of this special offer, the greatest offer ever made by Kellogg's Pep. It's your opportunity to get official Space Cadet goggles. That's right, official Space Cadet goggles. The same kind of goggles worn by Tom Corbett out in the farthest reaches of space. Listen to the official description of space goggles issued by Space Academy Supply Headquarters. Space goggles are made out of one sweeping curved plastic plate. In shape, they're scientifically streamlined to fit securely over both eyes. Space goggles provide for a full range of vision and may be worn over regular eyeglasses. Space goggles are tinted to reduce glare. Now, spacemen, that's what you get. You want to wear your goggles anytime you're racing into the wind, on skates, on a bike, in a car. You want to wear them in your own Space Cadet adventures, just like Tom Corbett does. Wear them to protect your eyes when you're working with tools. Well, there are dozens of uses for space goggles, so get yours now. Here's how. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address. Repeat. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep Box Top, and your name and address to Kellogg's, Box 302, Battle Creek, Michigan. Kellogg's, Box 302, Battle Creek, Michigan. Don't delay. Send for your space goggles today.
While on an exploration trip to Object Delport, a strange planet outside our solar system, the Polaris crew finds itself marooned when a nova explosion prevents their robot supply ship from reaching them. Due to a radiation barrier, they cannot contact their advanced base millions of miles away in space. Without water and lacking supplies, there is no hope of making the return trip. In desperation, they decide to make a closer survey of the planet from the Polaris.
Any luck yet, Corbett?
No, sir. I'm getting a lot of interference on the scanner. Can't we move down into the atmosphere more?
Right. We'll descend to about 15 miles. Control deck to power deck. Check in.
Power deck, aye.
Cut to minimum cruising speed, Astro. We're taking her down into heavy atmosphere.
Aye, sir.
Captain Strong.
What is it, Corbett?
Look here in the scanner. I can't be sure yet, but it looks almost like great galaxies. That's a lake, a beautiful
Don't start drooling, Manning. It could be a mirage.
The image is starting to clear now, sir. It is a lake, a big one, too.
More like an inland sea, really.
And look at that region on the far shore. See there, between the lake and that mountain range? Trees. By Jupiter.
Heavy vegetation of some kind, certainly. Manning.
Yes, sir?
Hold a course to set down on that shore. This may be the spot we've been looking for.
Will you look at that? Real trees with fruit on them. Plenty of water, too. Why, this is paradise.
And feel how warm it is. Almost like the tropics back on Earth.
It makes me real homesick. Reminds me of Venus, without the rain.
By the galaxies, all this place needs is a couple of beautiful girls and grass skirts.
Knock it off, men. Here's the testing rig. Let's see whether this lake water is safe to drink.
I sure hope so. My throat feels like the inside of a rocket tube.
Oh, here, Captain. I'll give you a hand with that rig.
Thanks, Hum. Carry it over to the shoreline.
Right.
Where are you going, Manning?
I've got my own test. It's the gulp and swallow method.
Don't touch that water until I give the word.
I don't care if it's sulfuric acid. I've got
Manning.
it. Yes, sir.
All right, Corbett. Set the equipment down here.
There you are.
Now, I'll pour it in here. Like this.
It smells good, Captain. Nothing breakish about it.
We'll have to make certain there's no arsenic in it, though. Now, watch the chemical reaction.
Nothing's happened yet.
Give it a few more seconds.
This is agony.
What do you think, sir?
Results are still negative. I guess it's all right.
Let me at it.
Hey, take it easy, Roger. Leave some for the rest of us.
Go on, Jethead. There's a whole lake full. So I'll try to leave a couple of drops for you.
I guess I better take them now. Jupiter, that's good.
Now, take it easy now, fellas. Not too much at a time.
Best water I ever tasted.
When I can't drink anymore, I'm going for a swim.
Hey, Roger. Where are you going? Just to take a closer look at those trees.
Well, don't get out of sight, Manning. I want everybody to stay together until we've had a chance to check our bearings.
Okay, sir. I won't go far. Well, that's one problem solved, Captain. We won't die of thirst.
And what about food, though? The survival rations won't last much longer. And I'm as hungry as a bear right now.
The fruit on those trees looks mighty tempting.
It could be deadly poison, Corbett. We'll have to test it. And that won't be as easy as checking water.
I wonder if there's any kind of animal life here.
There should be. The conditions seem ideal.
Good. I'm looking at something right now that's walking on four legs.
Where, Astro?
Down the shoreline, there to your left. About half a mile down.
I see it.
Well, it's some kind of animal, all right. It seems to be about the size of a fox or a small dog.
And look, he's drinking from the lake.
I've got him within range of my gun, Captain. Shall I let him have it?
No, not yet.
But, sir, that's meat on the table.
We can't be sure, Astro.
Well, the fruit isn't poison to that animal. Look. He's gone back to the edge of the wood, and he's eating from that vine.
Perhaps we can eat it, too. But before we take a single mouthful, I want to test that fruit thoroughly.
Say, where did Roger go? He's out of sight.
What? And after I specifically told him not to.
I'll call him, sir.
Hey, Roger!
Steady as arrows, Junior, I'm coming.
There he is, coming out of that grove.
What's he carrying?
Blamed if I know, sir. Where you been?
Sir, he's eating something.
That's right, you Venusian. Here, have some. This fruit's delicious.
Manning, get that out of your mouth at once.
Well, why, sir? I never tasted anything as good in all my life.
Don't argue. Get it out, I said.
Yes, sir. But I made sure it was all right, sir.
If you don't mind telling me, how did you do that?
Why, I saw an animal eat some of it back there. You know yourself, an animal won't touch anything poisonous.
Manning, we don't know what kind of chemical makeup that animal has. For all we know, it could take strychnine for dessert.
Well, you don't mean it, Captain.
I certainly do. Won't you ever learn?
Oh.
All right now, Manning, no harm done. I made you get rid of that piece of fruit before you swallowed it.
Yeah. You did. That piece.
What do you mean?
I ate 7 of those things before I came out of the grove.
7?
Yes, sir. I was just working on the 8th when you stopped me.
My gosh, if that stuff is poison. Come on, get him back to the ship.
But, sir, by the time we get there, it'll be too late for an antidote.
We'll do everything we can for you, Manning.
Well, Captain, how can we give him an antidote when we don't know the nature of the poison?
There's nothing we can do for him, Corbett. Nothing but wait and trust to luck.
How long has it been now, Captain Strong?
3 hours since he ate the fruit, Corbett.
How does he look to you, sir?
Well, his color seems all right, Astro. His pulse is slow, but not dangerously so.
Breathing seems okay. If he'd only come out of that coma.
Huh? What's that?
Roger.
Somebody in a coma?
Wait, Manning, don't try to get up yet.
Why not, sir? I feel like stretching my legs a little.
But you've been in a coma for 3 hours, Roger.
Oh, me? Why, you Venusian worrywart. Can a guy even log a little sack time without getting cried over?
You mean you were sleeping?
Sure. Who wouldn't need a siesta after eating 8 pieces of fruit the size of melons?
Well, then you feel perfectly all right, Manning?
Why, I never felt better in my life, sir. Except for one thing.
What's that, Roger?
Well, I'm a little hungry. I think I'll gather me some more of that fruit.
There, that does it. One more clamp over here on the side, and our space hut's all ready.
Can I put away the tools now, Tom?
Sure. Well, this ought to be very comfortable.
You know, Tom, if we'd known we were going to land in a tropical paradise, we could have brought along some of those old-fashioned shelters made out of canvas.
Things they used to call tents, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Those pegs and ropes must have been a lot of trouble. There's no place like a good, tight, prefab magnesium space hut. How about it, Astro? You ready for a little exploration trip?
You bet. I wonder if this planet has any inhabitants.
Well, I doubt it. We'd have seen some signs of life before now.
Oh, not necessarily if it's a primitive society.
Hiya, space rats.
Where have you been, Roger?
Taking a dip in the lake, and what a swim. This place beats the beach at Venusport any day. Hey, where's the skipper?
Over at the ship, taking some instrument readings.
I see the hut's up. Is this my gear?
That's right. Just sorted out for inspection.
Hey, wait a minute. What's the idea of all this stuff?
You know the regulations, Roger. Exploration parties keep full spacesuits at hand at all times.
But that's silly. In this climate, we need spacesuits like a rocket blast in the head.
Don't you ever stop trying to buck rules, Roger?
Most rules don't make sense. Now, what's the use of cluttering up our camp with junk?
What are you complaining about now, Manning?
Oh, why, nothing, Captain Strong. We were just shooting space gas.
Hey, what's that?
Sounded like an explosion somewhere.
Quiet, boys. Listen.
There it goes again.
That sounds like trouble. Big trouble.
Hey, Captain, take a look at the shoreline.
What a tide this lake must have.
Tide? Great galaxy, that's no tide.
I'll say it isn't. The water's receded 1,000 yards.
Oh, what's going on, Captain?
It's a tidal wave. Listen.
Those rumbles. They must have come from earthquakes under the water.
Captain Strong, look.
It's a huge wall of water. Then it's coming this way.
Quick, run for the ship.
It's too late, Manning. We'd never make it.
Well, what can we do, sir? In another minute, that wave will hit us.
It's coming at us like a fleet of rockets.
There's no way out of this. When that wall of water hits us, we're dead.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by. When Tom Corbett and his crew blast off into space, every man on board makes sure he carries a set of official Space Cadet goggles. Every cadet wears space goggles as protection out in space. Well, now, you can get these very same space goggles. Whether you're working with tools, racing on a bike or skates, or blasting off into outer space, you want to have official space goggles with you every minute. Here's Tom Corbett to tell you more about official Space Cadet goggles.
Spaceman, the most important thing about space goggles is to send for them right away. The sooner you send in, the sooner you'll get them. You know, these aren't ordinary goggles. Space goggles are made of one sweeping curved piece of clear-colored plastic, like a giant bubble that fits right over your eyes. I've been down to Space Academy Supply headquarters, and they've got space goggles all ready to send out as soon as you let them know where to send them. So get going, spaceman. Send for your space goggles today.
And here's what you do. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, and your name and address. Repeat. Send 25 cents, 1 Kellogg's Pep box top, and your name and address to Kellogg's, Box 302, Battle Creek, Michigan. That's Kellogg's, Box 302, Battle Creek, Michigan. You got your instructions, spaceman. Send for your official Space Cadet goggles today.
Marooned on a strange planet in a distant solar system, the crew of the Polaris finds a tropical paradise on the shore of a huge inland sea. But as they set up camp, they are horrified to find themselves in the path of a gigantic tidal wave, whose towering wall of raging water thunders toward them.
We're trapped! That water will cut us to pieces!
Corbett, the spacesuit.
What's that, sir?
All of you, quick! Get into your spacesuit.
You heard the Captain, Astro. Get your spacesuit on.
We'll never make it. There isn't time.
Hurry it up. Manning, where's your helmet?
I've got it.
Make sure everything is airtight. There. My helmet's secure.
Mine, too.
All right, now. Take your auxiliary oxygen supply and release it inside your suits.
We'll blow up like balloons, sir.
Like life rafts, you mean? Hurry, Roger. Pressure of about 2 atmospheres will be safe. That's it.
The water. It's almost on top of us.
We'll all take a real smash when it hits. Just try to relax, and eventually you'll bob to the surface again.
Here it comes!
Look out!
Can anybody hear me? Answer me, somebody!
I'm over here, Tom. Can you see me?
Wait! Yes, I see you, Astro.
I can just make out your helmet bobbing on the surface.
Have any of the others come up yet?
I can't see them if they have.
Hold it. There's someone. Is that you, Roger?
Captain Strong here, Corbett.
I'm over this way, fellas.
Say, that means we've all come through it.
The water's starting to recede, sir.
Now watch out for driftwood. The water is full of it.
You're telling me I just ducked a log as big as the Polaris. Hey, help! Help!
Astro, what's wrong?
My suit, it's sprung a leak. I'm shipping water.
Quick, get out of that suit before you go under.
I can't reach the fasteners. I'm going under.
Astro, hang on. I'm trying to reach you.
Can you make it, Corbett? You're closest to him.
I think so. Yes. I've got a hold of his helmet now. But I can't pull him to the surface.
Undo the helmet. Get him out of his suit.
I'm trying, sir. Wait, I'm getting it now. There, I'm pulling out of it. Go on, Astro. Now don't struggle out. Keep your head above water.
Is he all right, Tom?
I don't know. He's out cold.
Make for shore. The water's backed up. There's a chance we can make it. Keep up the artificial respiration, Corbett. He's beginning to stir.
Hear that, sir? He's coming around all right.
Astro, can you hear me?
He's opening his eyes.
I'm okay, Tom. Boy, you had us worried.
Are you sure you're all right, Astro?
Yes, sir. Looks like I tried the same thing I accused Roger of doing.
What's that?
Drinking all the water in the lake.
Well, don't worry, Astro. There's plenty of it left.
If you're squared away now, we'd better get back and see what's left of our ship.
The Polaris. I almost forgot about her. I sure hope she's still there.
Things look pretty bad, boys. It's going to take a lot of work to put this ship back in shape.
Well, we better get started on it, sir.
Well, the rocket engines are in fair shape. I just inspected them.
The hull's okay, too. Mostly it's electrical equipment that was damaged.
If only we had a bigger supply of spare parts.
Too bad we never located the wrecks of those 4 other ships that were sent here. If we could find them, I'll bet we could salvage most of the parts we need.
We have no way of knowing if those other ships actually landed on this planet, Manning. The authorities are inclined to believe none of them made it.
Well, I'm not so sure of that, sir.
What do you mean, Corbett?
Just take a look through this forward scanner.
Well, but
Wait, I see it. It's smoke, a spiral of smoke far out.
Probably a volcano. We've had everything else.
That's no volcano.
Hand me that viewscope, Manning.
Here, sir.
Thanks.
What do you make of it, sir?
By the moons of Jupiter.
What is it, Captain?
That smoke is rising from a chimney. The chimney of a crudely built hut.
Wow.
And there's more than one of them. There's a colony out there.
Oh, and we found them. We've located one of the earlier expeditions.
That we have.
Hooray!
Well, no matter what happens now, we can call our own expedition a success. A complete success.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Thursday, when the Polaris crew searches for castaways but finds murder lurking in the limestone caves of the planet Del Port, in Part 2 of Marooned with Death. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast are Jan Merlin, Al Markham, and Edward Bryce. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Begg speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes, both fruit and cereal, all in one box. And no other raisin bran but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape! Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Tonight, we escape to a lonely lighthouse off the steaming jungle coast of French Guiana, and a nightmare world of terror and violence, as we bring you again, in response to hundreds of requests, 3 Skeleton Key, starring Vincent Price.
Picture this place. A gray tapering cylinder welded by iron rods and concrete to the key itself. A bare black rock, 150 feet long, maybe 40 wide. That's at low tide. At high tide, just the lighthouse, rising 110 feet straight up out of the ocean. And all about it, the churning water, gray-green, scum-dappled, warm as soup, and swarming with gigantic bat-like devilfish, great violet schools of Portuguese man-o'-war, and yes, sharks, the big ones, the 15-footers. And as if this weren't enough, there was a hot, dank, rotten-smelling wind that came at us day and night off the jungle swamps of the mainland. A wind that smelled like death. A wind that had smelled the slow and frightful death that came one night to this bare black rock. Set in the base of the light was a watertight bronze door, and in you went. And up. Yes, up and round and round, past the tanks of oil and the coils of rope, casks of wicks, racks of lanterns, sacks of spuds and cartons and cans, and up, round and round. Over the light storeroom was the food storeroom, and over the food storeroom was the bunk room where the three of us slept. And over the bunk room was the living and cooking room, and over the living and cooking room was the light. She was a beauty, big steel and bronze baby with the sun gleaming through the glass walls all about, bouncing blinding little beams off the big shining reflectors, glittering and refracting through her lenses. The whole gigantic bulk of her balanced like a ballerina on the glistening steel axle of her rotary mechanism. She was a sweetheart of a light. And at night you'd lie there on the stone deck of the gallery with her revolving smoothly and quietly over your head, easing her bright white eye 360 degrees around the horizon. You'd lie there watching to see that the feeders kept working, that everything ran right. And it wouldn't be bad, the other two fellows snoring in their sacks 2 levels down. You'd smoke your pipe to kill the stink of the wind, and it wouldn't be bad. About those other two, Louis and Auguste. What a pair. Louis, he was head man, was a big fellow from the Basque country, black beard, little hard black eyes, and a pair of arms that I tell you, those arms were as big around as my legs. Yes, head man he was, and what word he let go was law. A silent fellow, and although I spent my first 2 weeks trying to strike up a real conversation, the most I could ever get out of him was...
Joan, I took up this profession because I don't like people. They want to talk too much. It's quiet work, light tending. Let's keep it that way. You're getting to be as bad as Auguste. I thought maybe for once they'd send me somebody who...
That was Louis. When he accused me of becoming like Auguste, I quieted down, because Auguste was the talkingest man I'd ever met. The talkingest and the ugliest. He was hunchbacked, stood 4 feet high, had red hair and big blue eyes. It seems he'd been an actor in Paris.
Indeed, played in over 200 different productions, dear boy, at the Grand Guignol. Oh, but it was monstrous horrible, the way we used to scare the audiences. I was hated. Yes, they used to throw things and hiss and bare their teeth at me. Finally, it got too bad. I couldn't stand it any longer. I gave up the theater. My nerves, you understand. Yes, gave it up completely. I really did. Couldn't stand it any longer.
It all started one morning at 2:30. I was on watch, lying on the cool stone deck, pulling on my pipe, staring out at the blackness, the phosphorescent combers, and the big yellow stars, when out of the corner of my eye, I noticed something show up for a second. Something the light had touched, far off. I waited for her to come around again, and when she did, there it was. Three-master, a big one, about a half-mile off, and coming down out of the north-northwest, coming straight for us. You must understand, our light was where it was for a very good reason. Dangerous submerged reefs surrounded us, and ships kept clear. But this one, this sailing vessel, was coming straight on. I went over to the gallery door and yelled, "Louis! Louis!" Couldn't understand it. I waited for the light to come around again.
Ship headed for the reef. Hurry right up.
I had the glasses out now. I couldn't read her name, but I could see her quite plainly. All sails set, the foam creaming away under her bow, her beautiful lines. A Dutch ship, I guessed her. But why didn't she turn? Every time it passed, our light hit her with the glare of day.
Ship? Where?
Northwest. The light will touch her in a moment.
Can't they see?
Look at her. She just keeps coming on.
Yeah, the squarehead.
What is it?
Watch northwest.
I know what it is.
Huh? What?
The Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman. We did a play about her once. Oh, what a performance. You ghastly galleon, hag-ridden, curse-driven, must on...
Shut up, will you? She's luffing.
Yes.
sloppy way to come about. She's derelict, that's it.
Derelict?
Abandoned. The crew left her for some reason or other. But instead of sinking, she's gone on, running before every wind.
She'll not run long. Not with these reefs to break her up.
A beautiful ship. Now, why would men leave a beautiful ship like that?
She didn't ram us, although we all expected it. But as we waited for the crash, she luffed again, caught some odd gust, and went about. We watched her the rest of those black hours, heeling and rocking, pushed and pulled by every stray wind, every freak current. Watched her until the dawn came, till the sea turned from black to a pearly gray. And on she came again, heading for us. We all had our glasses trained on her now.
August, you can kill the light.
Right, Chief?
She doesn't look so good by daylight. Think she'll ground this time? What? I say, do you think she'll ground this time? Huh?
This is impossible. Absolutely impossible.
What?
Here, take my glasses. They're better than yours.
All right. And what is it you're... I had to focus, and then my breath froze in my throat. The decks were swarming with a dark brown carpet that looked like a gigantic fungus, but undulating. And on the masts and yards, the guys and all were hundreds, no thousands, no I don't know, an endless number of enormous rats.
See them?
Yes, I see them.
Now we know why she's derelict.
Yes, now we know.
What are you two doing? Here, give me a look.
Yes, give him the glasses. Take a good look, chatterbox. Give you something to talk about.
She's still heading for us.
Yes.
She's going to turn. She better turn soon.
Suppose she doesn't.
You mean suppose she piles up on the quay?
It's low tide.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Where's all the conversation, August, huh? Here, want the glasses again? Want another look?
No.
She's still coming on.
Go away! Go away!
Turn! Will you turn, I say, I pray you? Turn!
She's climbing up. The rats. Look, on the water. Like a carpet.
They're swimming.
Sure, they're swimming. Those are ship's rats.
But they're swimming for the rocks.
The door below. It's open.
Come on. Down we went, racing down the stone stairs, taking them 3 and 4 at a time. Scared? You bet we were scared.
August, you get the windows. Maybe they can climb. We don't know.
Right, Chief. But hurry!
Look. See them?
No. Oh, yes, I do. Up at the other end of the rock.
Look at them.
Millions.
They smell us. Here they come. Close the door.
Can't.
Here. Let me.
Oh, move. You move.
Heave.
Made it.
Holy. That was close.
One guy in. Look, there.
Get him!
He was as big as a tomcat, bigger. And his eyes were wild and red, his teeth long and sharp and yellow. He went for us, starving, ravenous, and we fought him, fought that one rat all over the room. It was, oh, believe me, I do not exaggerate, it was like fighting a panther.
Got him.
We better get aloft. We ran up the winding staircase. We passed the tiny windows at the various levels. And at every one was a thick, wriggling, screaming curtain of brown fur. I was ahead of Louis, and I dreaded each successive level. Suppose they had found a way in.
Look at them. Will you look at them?
It's a nightmare.
Will you look at them?
The air of the gallery was thick and fetid with the stink of them. The light was dim brown, filtered through the crawling mass that swarmed over the glass all about us. I could not see the sky. Nothing but them. Their red eyes, their claws, their wriggling, hairy snouts, their teeth. The rats. They screamed and howled and threw themselves against the glass. They were starving. And we three, we stood very quiet. Oh, very quietly in the center of the classroom under our beautiful light. And we waited.
What can we do? What can we do,
Take it easy, old man. Take it easy.
It won't do any good to stand here and shake.
Yeah, that's right. Anybody want a cigarette?
Yes, I have one, thank you.
Good boy. We've got to keep calm about this thing. Here's a light.
Yeah, they don't like the fire, do they?
Guess not.
Give me another match. You don't like that one, do you?
Don't rile them, August.
Give me some more matches. I'll strike them and strike them and strike them until they get scared and go away.
They won't go away. Not until...
Let me see. Not until what?
Not until they've been fed.
You can take just so much horror, and then you get used to it. And they were interesting to watch, you know. They couldn't understand the glass. They could see us, and they could rush at us, but that thin, invisible barrier held them off, stopped them. From time to time, we caught a glimpse of the rocks below. More rats down there, swarming brown velvet in the bright tropical sunlight. And then the tide began to rise. If only it had drowned some of them.
Ship's rats don't drown. No, sir, you cannot drown one of them. They're all climbing up the tower.
This bunch around us is getting thicker.
Yeah. Say, what's the time?
6:45.
You've got first watch, Joan.
Right.
Wake me at 10.
I will.
Come along, August.
It was getting dark. One side of the room was lit a soft, filtered red. Sunset through the racks. Oh, very pretty. I set the wicks, checked my fuel, and then lit the lamp. It caught them. Lit them in their gigantic wriggling web of pale, hairless bellies, twitching red tails, bright eyes. Then I started the rotary motor. The light drove them mad as she swung slowly and smoothly about. She blinded them in the fierce, stabbing bar of light, moving continually about at a turning, of a touching, of a moving around and around, and they twitching and shuddering, eyes flaming when they were struck by the light. Bright light moving, and behind on the dark side of the room, so close, I dared not turn my back, but you cannot help turning your back when you're in a room made of glass. On the dark side of the room, you could not see them, but only their eyes. Thousands of points of blank red light, blinking and twinkling like the stars of hell. Louis relieved me at 10, but I didn't get much sleep that night, and when I came up into the gallery early next morning, there stood August, his back to me. He was bowing to the rats, waving his arms and making a speech.
I am going to play once again that magnificent role which made me the toast of the Paris Theatre. Prelate, the evil genius of the medieval underworld. I am he who did guide the dark soul of the Marechal into the nether path. Do not be frightened, little children. I will not hurt you.
I stood staring at him, horror-struck, but he didn't notice me. The man had gone mad. He kept turning, telling his stories to all the rats, leaving no one out. August!
Ah, another one. A latecomer. Take a seat on the aisle, dear patron. Move over there. Let the gentleman be
But he
seated.
didn't
Come.
He went on, bowing and scraping to the rats, his big blue eyes rolling and winking, his wild red hair waving about him. I grabbed him by the arm, slapped his face. He looked at me like a child. And then his face screwed up. He looked as though he were about to cry. Go below, go on.
Oh, very well, then. Later, my dear audience, later. Matinee today.
Sure, he was crazy. But I guess we all were. A few hours later, he came back up and caught Louis and me teasing the rats. Yes, sounds horrible. It was fun. We could get right up against the glass and make faces at them. It drove them crazy. They would scratch away trying to get at our eyes. Louis was even cuter about it. He'd pull a piece of bread out of his pocket and press it against the glass. The rats would scramble into a solid ball, biting each other, clustering like grapes. From time to time, a whole knot of them would slip and fall 110 feet to the surf below.
Look at the sharks.
They're eating them.
Yeah, the sharks are our friends. Here, I'll get another bunch together. Here, my beauty. That's it. Tyler, kill each other. There they go.
Auguste joined in, too. Oh, very ingenious, Auguste. He learned that if he spread-eagled himself against the glass, they'd bunch and bundle against his figure. Then he'd leap back.
Look! My portrait in rats.
It went on all day. And then I was lying in bed. It was about midnight. I was very tired, and I was just beginning to fall off to sleep when I became conscious of a new sound. Couldn't figure it at first. I got up, lit the lamp, and went to the window. Even as I looked at it, I saw one of the panes begin to sag in. They had eaten the wood away. Louis, come quick!
What is it?
They found a way in. I held the glass with my hand. Now they were all going crazy, and assured of the success of this maneuver, were all nibbling away at the wood. Louis ran below and then returned with a large sheet of tin. We spread it against the window and hammered it into place. Even as we did so, we felt the heavy body thudding against the other side as the window gave way.
That ought to hold. If it doesn't, we're done for.
Rats can't eat tin.
No, they can't. What was that?
I don't know.
It came from below.
The storeroom window.
They're in. They're swarming up the stairs.
Drop the trap.
Right.
Two of them got in.
Let's go after them.
We didn't have to go after them. They came at us. I leaped to one side and grabbed the marlin spike, swung, and smashed one in midair.
No!
I whirled to see Louis with the other. It had ripped his hand open, and the blood was pouring all over the place. He held his hand aloft and kicked at the snarling rat. I stepped and swung and got him.
My hand! He got my hand!
That's both of them, Louis. I'll get you something to tie that up.
Blood! Look at it! My blood! I'm bleeding!
Now, don't worry about it, Louis. Here, look. I'll wind this kerchief around it. It'll be okay.
Blood!
There, now. It's not bad, just the flesh. Then I became conscious of another new sound. They were gnawing their way through the wooden trap door. I watched the wood fascinated. Even as I did, it began to give way, and a bristling, whiskery nose showed through. Louis, we got to go up. The next level was the middle quarters, and I slammed the trap door there, too. But it, too, was wood.
My blood. What are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll be through this one in a moment.
The gallery. The trap door in the gallery is metal.
Good. Come on. We made it. We lay across the trap door exhausted. While below us, the rats took over the entire tower. I could hear them howling and fighting over our food supply, our water, our leather. And all about us, the others screamed and glared in at us, swayed in a tangled mass, hypnotized by the ever-turning light. By morning, the air in the little room was horrible. Until now, we'd been getting air from the tower below. Now that was sealed off. And so was all our food and water. We lay exhausted, panting, waiting. The hours crawled on. I was almost dozing from fatigue when I saw a sight that brought me too fast.
Would you like to come in, my beauty? Would you? I hold the powers of life and death, and I can let you in, you know.
Auguste was standing by the glass, and in one hand he held a wrench. He was tapping the glass gently, not quite hard enough to break it. I eased myself to my feet and slowly, very slowly, tiptoed toward him.
All I have to do is tap just a little harder.
I found a coil of wire in the toolkit, and I trussed him up, fastened him to a stanchion in the center of the room. Louis was of no help. He lay on his side looking at his bloody hand, weak and sick as a baby. So there I was, a lunatic and a coward for company, and all about watching our little drama, the rat. The day dragged by. The supply boat wasn't due for another 12 days. I don't know what they could have done if they had come. We had only one way of summoning them, and that was to shoot off distress rockets, but the rockets were 4 floors below. And even if they'd been right there in the gallery, I couldn't have opened a window to fire them. At night, I tended the light, but its flame was devouring our oxygen. The following day, we lay, thirst-tormented, starving, waiting, and the following night, I again tended the light, but the small supply of spare wicking we kept in the gallery had become exhausted, and quite suddenly, about midnight, the light went out. There's nothing I could do. Wicks were stored 3 levels below. Nothing I could do. Nothing. From time to time, I'd strike a match to see the clock. When I did, it lit up a million red eyes about us. All about. Watching. Waiting. Below, it had grown quiet. They'd cleaned us out, and now they, too, were waiting. All waiting. And then the rats, quite suddenly, were silent. And then I heard it. And then I saw the sky and the stars. The rats were gone. I went to the glass. Out there on the water, a small freighter, a banana boat, showing a few lights, came softly and innocently at us. The light was out. They didn't know. I wanted to open the windows to call out to them, to warn them somehow, but I was afraid. What if the rats were hiding from me, tricking me? So I waited. She grounded very softly on a reef not 200 yards from the quay. Grounded so gently that the man playing the cornet, was he a passenger or crewman off watch, didn't even stop playing. They tried washing her back off. I could have told them to save their fuel. The tide was rising, would have floated her free. And I waited. That's all. That's the story. The sun came up and there wasn't a rat on the whole quay. Every last one of that terrible army had left us, gone back to sea on their new ship. Auguste, insane asylum, he never recovered. And Louis, they took him into Cayenne where he died of blood poisoning from his bite. Oh, yes. Well, that's the whole of it. And if you'll excuse me now, I must go set my traps. No mouse traps. No rats in this lighthouse, I should say not. Life in the lights isn't bad, but sometimes when I see a strange vessel approaching, I get a little nervous, sure. Somewhere on the seas, there's a little banana boat without a crew. That is, without a human crew.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight we have presented Three Skeleton Key by George Tadouz, adapted for radio by James Poe and starring Vincent Price as Jean. Supporting Mr. Price were Harry Bartell as August and Jeff Corey as Louis. Sound effects on Three Skeleton Key, created by Cliff Thorsness and executed today by Mr. Thorsness, Gus Bays, and Jack Sixsmith, have been awarded the Best of the Year by Radio and Television Life magazine. Harry Essman was at the control panel, and special music was arranged and conducted by Del Castillo. Next week,
you are swimming for your life in the dangerous waters off the Florida Gulf Coast, about to be smashed by a launch carrying a vicious criminal who must kill you or die himself. And on shore, 500 yards away, the police are waiting to arrest you for murder. And there can be no escape.
Next week, we escape with an exciting tale of temptation and death on the Gulf Coast of Florida, as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in Danger at Matacumba. Goodbye, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. A patch of weeds, a boxer's biography, and a mild, lukewarm bath. They're all clues that lead the police of Jackson, Michigan, to a killer in the gangbuster story on CBS this Saturday night. It's the case of the double push, to be heard on most of these same CBS stations this Saturday night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Nestle's Ever Ready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk. And Nestle's chocolate bars now present Space Patrol. High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Visions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy have been taken back millions of years through time and forced out of Star-No's spaceship in a tropic jungle on the planet Earth. Take care of that car pit, huh? I get stuck in that stuff without a hard time getting in. Captain Rockets, what was that? But I think it is. We're in trouble.
Hey, Commander, look. Coming out of the jungle. It's a monster.
Tyrannosaurus. The biggest dinosaur that ever lived.
It must be 50 feet high.
That's good. It makes sense.
Look at those teeth. It's probably look up in one bunch.
It saw us, Hap. Run! We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Monster from the Past.
It's quicker than a jet flight. It's quicker than the speed of light. It's Nestle's Quick, the miracle product that mixes so quick it gives you chocolate milk in seconds. Fellas and girls, have you tried instant Nestle's Quick? Nothing was ever so speedy. Here's all you have to do to get perfect chocolate milk. First, pour out your big, cold, frosted glass of milk. Then add 2 teaspoons of Nestle's Quick. That's right. You pour the milk first, then you add Quick. Spoon it around once or twice, and there's your chocolate milk. Why, it practically makes itself. And where do you taste that flavor? Quick is just like those great Nestle's chocolate bars. Yes, sir, it's got that special Nestle's chocolate taste, that special Nestle's chocolate richness, that special Nestle's chocolate smoothness. It's a real soda fountain treat right in your own home. You're going to love having wonderful Nestle's Quick with meals and for snacks and before bedtime. And you can tell Mom that Quick is good for you because it's fortified with vitamin D. And the more Quick you drink, the more milk you drink. So she's sure to approve. Ask Mom to get that big brown and yellow can of Nestle's delicious, most chocolate, quickest treat in the universe. That's Q-U-I-K. Nestle's Quick.
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Monster from the Past. Commander Corey is using every facility of the Space Patrol in his search for the elusive criminal Dr. Ryland Scarno. Ordinary methods of detection have proven futile because Scarno is able to escape capture by traveling through time where no one can follow him. At this moment, Scarno is in Saturn City visiting an accomplice, Joseph Merck. Merck is examining some rough, uncut stones that Scarno is handed to him.
Perfect, Dr. Scarno. Perfect. Every bit as good as the last one. Right, Julie? Scarno, before I peddle any more of these diamonds, I want to know where you got them. Just in case they're stolen. They're not stolen. I found them on Earth in South Africa. That's a big country. Where in South Africa? Kimberley. You discovered a new field? No. I discovered an old one. I've been back in time. Back to the 19th century. Well, it's true, these rumors I've heard about your time, sir. Yes. I stole a Star Drive spaceship. The hyperspace computer is slightly out of adjustment. By accident, I discovered that the mechanism can be used to travel through time as well as through space. Really? And wonderful. The possibilities. Possibilities are right in front of you. Diamonds. You brought them into the 30th century? Exactly. Diamonds were discovered in South Africa in the year 1867. A hunter accidentally found several stones along the Orange River in a hook. History books describe the exact site in the tape. And you went back in time to that day? I went back to 1866, 1 year earlier. Now, listen, you never make money in a hurry. I've got an idea that'll bring us several thousand credits in a couple of days. Go ahead. Listening? Did you ever hear of the island of Mauritius? No. What about it? It's east of Africa, a few hundred miles off the coast of Madagascar. What's on this island? Diamond? Gold? No. Birds. Birds? With millions in diamonds, you talk about birds. Now, wait. Hundreds of years ago, a strange and rare type of bird lived on this island. But it was slaughtered by the thousands and became extinct. No living bird of this species was ever seen after 1681. I am not interested. Arnold, do you realize how valuable one of these birds would be if we could bring it alive into the 30th century? Scientific foundation of the bird. Well, immediately. I have connections with the leading zoos and bird banks. Remember, Scarno, a diamond requires time and craftsmanship to increase its value. The bird can be sold just as it is. Tell me about this island.
Elsewhere, Buzz and Happy are on the planet Earth, where Buzz has been consulting with mathematicians and electronics experts on the problem of time travel. Between meetings, the Commander and Happy are visiting the Washington Zoological Gardens at the invitation of the curator, Dr. Dawson.
What was it Dr. Dawson wanted to show us?
Some new exhibit that just came in. He wouldn't tell me what it was, but it sounds pretty exciting. Right now, I'm more interested in what those scientists are doing.
If they can only find a way to make the solar 5 travel through time, we can capture Scarno.
We've got the best brains in the solar system working on it. So far, there's nowhere near a solution.
Then Scarno's hyperspace control is a freak of theft, is that it?
I don't know. Still got to find out why, but something might happen to other Star Drive ships.
Yeah. The ships could suddenly disappear into the past or into the future, and you never know what happened to them.
Right.
Well, maybe something happened to Scarno. That could explain why we haven't had any reports on it for several days.
I'm not so sure we haven't heard. Scarno's best bet is to bring small items of great value from the past into the present.
Oh, like the pirate treasure we brought back the first time.
Yes. A dealer on Saturn received some diamonds from mammoth business work. He told the dealer he found the uncut stones on Venus on a honeydew trip.
He could have. I mean, there are diamonds on Venus.
Yes, but so far none of this particular type. They're similar to diamonds from some region of Earth, chiefly South Africa. However, this Joseph Merck could have been telling the truth.
Joseph Merck? Oh, that's the man who sold the diamond.
Yes. Here comes Dr. Dawson.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Commander.
We've had plenty to keep us interested, Doctor.
I'll say. You must have every bird in the universe in those cages.
No, not quite. But I'm going to show you gentlemen something that will more than make up for any omission.
You mean the new exhibit?
Yes. Now, if you just come down the path to the next stage, please.
Sure.
If anyone had told me a week ago that there was any such bird as this in existence, I would have laughed in the face.
What kind of a bird is it?
Oh, I want you to see it before I tell you. Frankly, I am more excited about this bird than I've been about anything in years. Well, what do you think of it?
It's funny looking. Well, a great big body, little scrawny wings. Don't tell me it can fly.
No, cannot walk very well either.
I shouldn't think so. Those short, stubby legs.
hate getting away with a big hook beat. Gentlemen, for more than 1,000 years, the bird was believed to be extinct. The last reliable report on any living bird of this species dates back to 1681.
Well, I give up, Dr. Dawson. What is it?
That gentleman is a dodo.
A dodo? I never heard of it. Except in the expression, that is a dodo.
The phrase refers to this very bird. In the 16th century, there were plentiful on the islands of Mauritius, in the Indian Ocean. But for less than 200 years, they had all been killed or so it was thought.
Amazing, Doctor.
How did you get this one? Let me say ornithology, Doctor.
What?
Ornithologist, an expert on birds. He found it in the interior of Madagascar. As you may know, Madagascar is a few hundred miles from Mauritius, the original Dodo Island.
And for hundreds and hundreds of years, a few of these birds managed to survive in Madagascar.
Very true. In fact, this Dodo may be one of the last two in existence. The ornithologist has the other one. I made arrangements to outside the water.
Dr. Dawson, would you mind telling me the name of this ornithologist who discovered the Dodo?
No, not at all. The man's name is Nurse. Joseph Nurse.
Joseph Nurse. Does he live in Saturn City?
Yes. He's going to ship the other Dodo to me as soon as I send him to me.
Dr. Dawson, just call him off a day or so until I have a talk with him.
Now, please, Commander, I hope nothing will happen to upset the present arrangement. I simply must have these people.
Don't worry, Doctor. After I talk with Nurse, you either get the Dodos for the agreed price, or you get them absolutely free. And in Saturn City, Joseph Nurse goes about the exacting task of cutting and polishing the rough diamond. Scarno stands over him impatiently.
Isn't there some way to speed that up, Nurse?
Isn't it the same diamond you started on this morning? What's the matter?
Why are you stopping?
Scarno, shaping a diamond is a very delicate operation. I can't do it and answer your idiotic questions at the same time.
I'm on edge, I guess. What about that zookeeper? Wasn't he supposed to contact you about the other Dodo?
Just be patient. Now that he has one of them, he'll just have to have the other one. I know Dawson's.
What's that?
That Dodo is so quick. Get those two out of sight. Take it easy. This whole bench slide right back into the wall. Watch it. There you are. You better get in the back room, sir. All right. Get rid of them quickly, understand? Yes? I'm Commander Corey of the Space Patrol. I'm looking for Joseph Nurse. I'm Nurse. What can I do for you? I'd like to talk to you about your deal with Dr. Dawson. Deal? Involving a certain man of bird. Oh, good. I'll come in. Come on. Listen. Forgive me if I don't understand why the Space Patrol is concerned about this. After all, there's no question of fraud. Dr. Dawson's convinced that the bird I left with him is a real Dodo. Yes, I know. But as I understand it, you have another Dodo here in Saturn. Okay? Yes. Just to be delivered to Dr. Dawson when he reached certain financial terms. Then you admit bringing a Dodo from Earth to Saturn. Of course. When any form of wildlife is brought from one planet to another, it must pass through quarantine. No spaceport on Earth or Saturn has any record of inspecting a Dodo. Really, you can't be serious. There's no danger of disease. I've brought dozens of birds from one planet to another, and not one has been a carrier of harmful bacteria. Yes, I know. That's true of 30th century birds, but it may not be true of birds from the 16th century. Commander, from the way you talk, one would think you're suggesting that these two birds were actually alive in the 16th century. That's exactly what I am suggesting, Mr. Knight. You believe the bird is 1,400 years old? Well, I believe you transplanted two birds from the 16th century into the present. It's serious. Such a thing is impossible. Not if you have a star-drive spaceship that'll go back into the past. Mr. Merck, you recently sold some diamonds, I believe. Yes, I did. Diamonds I found on Venus. Are you sure they didn't come from Earth? If you can travel in time, you can get back to the time and the place the diamonds are plentiful. Where Dodos swarm like pigs in my floor. This is all ridiculous. I've committed no crime. Perhaps you know someone who has. Ryland Scarno, for instance. Ryland Scarno? I've never heard. Whatever. We'll see how you react to the danger. Now, if you show me where that other dodo is, I'll put it in front of you.
It won't be necessary, Corey. Look out, Commander. It's Scarno.
Now, remember, Corey, the first slight move from either of you, and I'll drop it. Scarno, it's going with the whole setup. It's not going to do him any good. Once before, Commander, I took you back into the past to get rid of you. It didn't work. Only because I made the mistake of returning to that same instant of time. This time, there'll be no mistake. They get into the ship while they're still unconscious. They're going back into the past, Miss, and they'll never return.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
Say, Captain Seatbelt, if you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for, huh?
Well, Tony, let me see.
I know what I'd wish for. You want to hear?
Sure.
I wish I owned a glass factory first.
Well, that's kind of strange. What's your next wish?
I wish I owned all the cows in the world.
Oh, now I'm beginning to get it. And your third wish would be?
To have cans of Nestle Quik whenever I snap my fingers.
That's certainly sensible, Tony. You know, with your factory, you'd always have nice big glasses. With your cows, you'd get all the cold milk you'd need. And then you'd drop in your Nestle's Quik and have a never-ending supply of the world's most sensational chocolate milk.
Boy, I sure love Nestle's Quik. The Quik milk is chocolate bar flavored. So good, rich, and delicious. Golly, I can make my own glass of Quik whenever I like. Because all I do is pour the glass of milk and then drop in 2 teaspoons of Quik. Quik mixes instantly.
In fact, Tony, Nestle's Quik practically makes itself. It's that fast and that simple. And Quik is such a treat. It's like having a soda fountain right in your own home.
And all it takes is a glass, some cold milk, and 2 spoonfuls of wonderful Nestle's Quik. And say, Space Patrollers, you tell your mom that Quik makes milk taste so great, you'll be drinking lots more of it. And that's sure to please your tummy. Remember, you want Nestle's Quik in the big brown and yellow can.
And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Monster from the Past. Commander Corey learned that the hunter who captured 2 specimens of the supposedly extinct dodo is the same man who claimed to have found some valuable diamonds on Venus. Now, to Buzz, this coincidence suggested the work of Dr. Scarno and his ship and travels through time. While Buzz and Happy were questioning the amazingly lucky hunter, Dr. Scarno rendered them unconscious with a ray gun. At this moment, Buzz and Happy are captives aboard Scarno's ship somewhere in space.
Seems to me we've been in Stargate an awful long time. I stopped figuring what we're going to do here. Once Scarno took us off this ship, we'll be back in some past period of time with no way to return. And whatever we do, we've got to do it before the ship lands. Hold it, Tom. Just relax, Corey. If you force me to use this ray gun again, it may be very bad for all of us.
Something wrong?
I'm not sure. We seem to be holding in star drive for an unusually long time. I want you to check the hyperspace computer. Suppose we don't. Suppose we like it in star drive. If you think this situation is giving you an advantage, you're mistaken, Cadet. There is an error in the computer. Each second may be magnifying that error.
That's true, Scarno. Could become lost in a strange dimension, probably.
Well, there's your choice, Commander. Repair the computer and be sure of a chance of survival. Or be stubborn and meet an unknown fate in the nothingness of hyperspace.
All right. Let me look at the computer. While Happy, Scarno, and Joseph Mook look on, Buzz checks the baffling maze of circuits in the hyperspace computer. Carefully, he makes delicate adjustments of the complex instruments. Then replaces the camera.
Is it fixed?
I don't know. Remember, this particular computer was out of alignment to begin with. That's why you're able to travel in time.
What did you do to it?
One group of circuits was working against another. I brought them into balance.
Yes, but I don't notice any change.
Listen.
What's happening? Hey, we're coming out of star drive. Look through the ports. We're in regular space.
He's right. The blackness is gone. There are stars out there. Look, keep an eye on Corey and the Cadet. We've got to find out where we are.
I think we're in the solar system. Constellations look familiar, and that planet over there could be Jupiter.
Well, if that's Jupiter, then the other planet in the starboard viewport must be Earth. Jim, I had the computer set correctly after all. All Corey did was bring us out of star drive.
Yeah? You still don't know what century you're in.
Yes, it matters. Scarno, let's land on Earth and put Corey and the Cadet out of the ship. We don't care what century they're stranded in.
You'd better care if you want to return to the 30th century.
He's right, man. We've got to know our exact space-time coordinates. that planet we're headed for? That can't be Earth. That's right. The shape of the continents are all different. That isn't Earth, Scarno.
Corey, what's happened?
The Earth can change quite a bit over several million years. A million, did you say? Scarno's time machine evidently stripped its gears. Didn't skip back a few centuries. It bounded back by eras, and that's how far back.
Tell me, Corey. How far?
I've been checking over the computer. I'll say around 140 million years. Give or take 10 million. 140 million years. So that would be the Mesozoic era. And probably the Jurassic period. What I can see in the viewscope, there's a lot of vegetation on the planet. Yes, giant ferns on top of the plants for the most part. You see age of reptiles, lizards of all types, dinosaurs. Dinosaurs? You mean those prehistoric monsters? Well, not all monsters, but that is real when they're no bigger than common house cats.
Corey, I'm going to give you a very great honor. You and the cadet are going to be the first human beings to see living dinosaurs.
You're going to put us out of the ship this far back in the past?
Why not? With your superior intelligence, you should be able to survive.
A few hours later, Scarno sets the spaceship down on a small area of high ground in the midst of a steaming marsh. Around the ship is a jungle of giant ferns and conifers. Holding ray guns, Scarno and Mert forced Buzz and Happy toward the open hatch.
This is where we say goodbye, Corey. Go on, get out of the ship.
We're going to have to answer for this someday, Scarno.
I'll take that chance. Now go on, get out.
Scarno, look. See over the water? It's a big lizard. A baby dinosaur. Scarno, if we can take that with us to the 30th century, it'd be worth a fortune. Let's capture it.
Capture that thing? Are you crazy, man?
We can stun it with a ray gun. At the most, it weighs 200 pounds. We can make Corey and the cadet carry it into the ship.
I don't like the idea of being in a spaceship with a live dinosaur.
Keep it unconscious. Besides, it's not a meat eater. Look, see? It's nibbling on water plants at the edge of the pool.
Is it worth the trouble?
Worth the trouble? Look what we've got for two dodos, and they've only been extinct a few centuries. This thing is 140 million years old. It's worth its weight in uranium.
All right, Scarno. You make Corey and the cadet carry the dinosaur. I'll wait here in the ship until Corey...
Dinosaur hasn't hurt us yet. Suppose the ray gun doesn't work. I'll take several blasts to knock it out. I think it heard us. It's raising its head. Wait here. Don't move. What's that sound? It's like a tree of fire over from the right. Yes, I've got that through. It's working really around the wind that's tied up with electricity. Right. I can cut that thing down. It's stuck enough stuff over the right hand, but come on. The dinosaur's going back to eating.
The rockets. What was that?
Well, it scared away our baby dinosaur. I'm getting back to the ship.
Commander, look. Coming out of the jungle. It's a monster.
It's a Tyrannosaurus.
It must be 50 feet high.
It's looking around. Oh, look at the size of those teeth. It could gobble a man up in one bite. You two stand back. I'm running for the ship. I'm still.
Mert, you idiot!
Mert, use your ray gun.
It won't stop that thing.
It may slow it down. Shoot!
It's still coming.
Ah! I'm stuck. Help me!
Mert's fallen into the tar pit.
We can keep that tar pit between us and the dinosaur.
They can run 3 times as fast as we can. Commander, it's stuck.
Stuck in the tar. I hope it's deep enough to hold the dinosaur while we pull Merc out. Come on.
Help me! Pull me out!
Give me a hand, Merc. Pat, brace your feet. Grab me around the waist. Now pull.
Getting in. Once more. Pull.
Get to the ship before that thing gets loose.
Scarno, he's blasting off. Scarno, don't leave me here. Don't leave me!
He's gone. He left me here in a world full of monsters. We can't survive in a world like this. We're helpless. Right now, the safest place is right here by this target. There's our life insurance. Down Tyrannosaurus.
Huh?
Every living thing is afraid of that monster. No other dinosaur is going to come close until this one sinks into the tar and disappears.
Hours pass, and the steaming fern jungle is silent. In the tar pit, the huge dinosaur struggles grow weaker, and the vast 20-ton bulk sinks deeper into the black mire. Buzz, Happy, and Mert, prisoners in prehistoric times, remain close to the tar pit.
I'm getting hungry. I wonder if we could find some fruit or something in the jungle.
I doubt it. We're in the Mesozoic period, where the olive plants are still.
That's right. Fruit-bearing trees won't emerge for millions of years. My stomach isn't going to wait.
Mert hadn't dropped his ray gun into the tar pit and acted the stems and small lizards.
Lizards? Guess I'm not hungry after all. Commander, listen. Am I crazy, or is that a spaceship?
A ship, all right. Scarno, I've been expecting him.
Expecting him? Why? Why would he come back?
I imagine he had some trouble getting out of the Mesozoic era.
He tampered with that hyperspace computer.
I fixed it so it wouldn't go back into the star drive.
Here he comes in for a landing. Oh, but he's praying his heart out that we're still alive.
Now, come on. Let's see what kind of offer Scarno will make us for a little advice on time travel. Wait right here.
Stand right where you are. I've got you covered. Hail Scarno. We of the Mesozoic era salute. Get up to this. Hey, Corey, what did you do to the hyperspace computer?
It's a little complicated, Scarno. I'd have to show you.
And your price for that, I suppose, is a return to the 30th century.
Plus your immediate surrender. Hand over your weapon.
Not so fast, Corey. Given a little time, I could probably locate the trouble myself. I'll be perfectly safe inside the ship, and you'll be at the mercy of the dinosaurs. Hey, Commander. It's another Tyrannosaurus. Yes. Probably searching for its mate there in the tar pit. You'd better accept my terms, Corey.
What are they?
Get the ship back to the 30th century, and I'll release you unharmed. You haven't much choice, Corey.
All right. I'll get you back to the 30th century. With Mert guarding Buzz and Happy, Scarno blasts off from Earth. Then, out in space, Buzz corrects the hyperspace computer and plots a vector for a return to the 30th century. The ship cuts into star drive, and after anxious moments emerges into regular space. The others wait expectantly as Buzz makes an astrogation check. Checks out, Scarno. The positions of the stars and planets show we're back in the true present. By real star time, it's just 9 hours since we blasted off from Saturn.
How can you tell so exactly?
By the positions of Saturn's moons. If you don't believe me, tune in a pair of time signal frequency in the spacephone.
I believe you. And now, Commander...
And now you can release us. I suggest Mars. You can land near a settlement and blast off without being seen.
And then you continue your attempt to capture me. No, Corey. I'm putting you both out into space right now.
But Scarno, you promised if we brought you back to the 30th century...
Yeah, but that promise was made 140 million years ago. Mert, use your ray gun on them. We'll push them out into space. Mert, look out!
Drop it, Mert! Oh, wait!
Don't move, Corey. Come any closer and I'll shoot.
Don't be a fool, Scarno. That's a blaster. It'll tear a hole in the ship.
If I hit you first, I'm warning you. All right, Corey.
Give me that gun.
That's a fool thing to do, Hap.
Yes, sir?
Keep Mert and Scarno covered. I'll see if that blast gun tore a hole in the ship.
If there was a leak, we'd know it by now.
It's been a weak charge. Well, here's what saved us.
The instrument panel. Oh, it sure made a shine out of that. Look at the direct control.
No, the control section's okay. But it looks like we're not only the first human beings to see a live dinosaur, but also the last.
What do you mean, sir?
The hyperspace computer's wrecked, fused into a mass of junk. Well, we'll never know what made it able to travel through time.
Well, I guess maybe it's just as well. From what I've seen of the past, I'm convinced there's no time like the present.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. What's new?
Nestle's new.
Nestle's what?
Coconut. Ah, that's my favorite verse, Commander, because I sure go for Nestle's great new coconut bar.
So I see, Hap. Are you practically gone through the entire month's supply already?
Oh, gee, Commander, I just can't help myself. When I bite into that luscious, thick, rich milk chocolate just loaded with crisp, toasted coconut, I sort of lose my head. I got to keep eating.
I'll admit there never has been such a delicious chocolate bar as the new Nestle's coconut bar.
Well, except maybe those other sensational Nestle's chocolate bars. You know, the rich milk chocolate, the almond bar, and wonderful crunch.
Stop. Now you're making me hungry.
Well, what are we waiting for? Be my guest, Commander. Have a Nestle's chocolate bar. And that goes for you, too, fellas and girls. Remember, Nestles. Nestle's makes the very best chocolate.
Now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are aboard the Terra 5, rushing toward the planet Saturn. Suddenly, another ship fires at them.
That was close, Commander. He's getting his range with those torpedoes. We'll try evasive action. Why don't we give Brokaw some of his own medicine? A few blasts with our space cannon and
we can't shoot. We've got to think about those people in Saturn City. If we destroy Brokaw, we destroy the only person who can cure that epidemic.
Weapon rockets we can't fight back. So all Brokaw has to do is keep firing until he hits us.
Be with us again next week for the thrilling Space Patrol story, The Weed of Despair. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Bela Kovac, Ken Mayer, Norman Jolly, and Tony Sides. Dick Tufeld speaking. This week's Space Patrol was brought to you by Nestle's Eveready, the instant cocoa. Nestle's Quick for great chocolate milk, and famous Nestle's chocolate bars. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC's Radio Network.